Hello, everybody. If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and that must mean it's time for another episode of Warhammer Weekly. Joining me, he's back on the show for us to discuss the final round, basically, of Soggy Rules. The man, the myth, the legend, the biggest of the big, Mr. Haywo Twitch. How you doing, sir?
Sorry about that. I had it open twice. I thought I only had it open once. Technical issues. Don't worry about it. Soon AI will replace me, and it'll be just as bad, but they won't have to pay someone for it.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. I can't wait till I can just get enough. Like at this point, I think I could turn that new thing loose on me, because I mean, how many hundreds of hours of me doing this show are out there, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just turn it loose on that corpus and just be like, look, just generate a new Warhammer Weekly. I'm sure it'd probably end up being accidentally higher quality than anything I'm doing at this point. So, why not? So today we're going to talk about the final Scourge of Ghyran, or Soggy Rules. This week, sound should be back to normal and good. I'm sorry last week it was real bad in my hotel when I got up at 6 a.m. to do an hour-long show before I worked for 14 hours. So I apologize, everyone. I'm not bitter in any way about all the sound complaints.
Very reminiscent of 1,000 pardons, Your Majesty.
Yes, I'm sorry the free content was not up to par. But no, jokes aside, I never like to have that happen. It was just unfortunate. I do, all joking aside, kind of take this a little bit seriously. Okay. So today, Soggy Rules, but of course, we're going to go through the rest of them that we haven't covered yet. Hey, Will, I've been watching your coverage as much as I can. Whenever I see you online, I'm watching there. Don't always comment, though I did have to break in there. I was in my hotel and I was watching your show. And we'll just lead off the news section with this. And I was like, of course, because I'm just sitting there. Like I had a few hours in my hotel and you were streaming. So I was watching your review and I'm surfing on my phone at the same time and I'm flipping through and it was like, for some reason, it just knew me or somebody I follow in like the role-playing community was a Rifts fan. And they're like, they're remaking it. And I had to come on and be like, the Rifts game for the N-Gage is being remade. I was like, Halo must know about this immediately.
Oh, and that was hot off the presses too, because right after that stream, I checked my email and I got the newsletter. And it's like, finally, Rift's Promise of Power for the N-Gage mobile gaming platform. Finally coming to PC. I believe it's a Kickstarter, which I'm typically hesitant of supporting.
But here we go.
There should be a second half of that sentence, but there's not.
But there's not.
Hey, I'll play it if and when it comes out. It'll be a good stream.
I couldn't believe that they did that. I guess basically is what I would say. Like it was shocking to me that was that's getting done. Not a new game. No, we're gonna port this 20-year-old N-Gage game. Like, okay, sure.
Well, the children cry out for N-Gage.
That's right. Games. Dead before its time, the N-Gage. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, give the people what they want.
That's right. All right, let's do some real news. First off, we got a rumor engine. It is yet again another 40K thing, so we can move on. As all rumor engines are now and forever, always will it be, forever and ever. Amen. So great. New Idneth people.
Accidentally spoiled in the previous thing.
Right.
Which was probably going to be okay if the Dallas thing was going to be a thing, but it wasn't. So maybe some crossed wires in a pipeline there.
Yeah, did they just be like, yeah, go ahead, use them in this article or whatever? Was it truly an accident? Were they throwing it out there for fun? Hard to say. You never know when they do it to themselves, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be brave here. I don't like him. I mean, look, his Ely friends look like they're having a great deal of fun.
They do. They're having a great time. They're very excited about being on land.
Yeah, but I don't like him.
What about his compatriot? Full helmet guy, so you can't see the big dumb open mouth going like that guy's face, by the way, just looks so goofy. He's doing this.
Very goofy. So is kind of so you have the Eidolon of the Sea, Eidolon of the Storm. You have the mini Lawn of the Sea, mini Lawn of the Storm.
Yes.
And yeah, the guy with the Mortal Kombat headdress there.
Mm-hmm.
This guy I like a little better than the Polearm Man. But overall, I don't know. You know what armies and AOS need more of?
I'm ready.
Foot heroes.
Absolutely. You know, you're right.
Every
I've been
army.
saying it for years.
Yeah. Absolutely full up on, units,
Interesting units,
infantry, battle
monsters,
line,
yeah, cool
things with jobs.
centerpieces. Mm-hmm.
What we need is more $45
single models
foot heroes. Yeah.
of questionable value that explode the second they get anywhere near combat with anything beyond a chaff unit.
With rules that are like definitely enter combat, bro. It'll be great.
It'll be great.
First of all, you'll get there. You'll get there definitely, and then second, you'll do great when you enter it.
I do think that, so like, obviously we do the full rules review when the thing comes out, but like in the article they talked about this guy makes you charge, so he gives everybody like 3D, or he gives people like 3d6 charge, like he himself and the unit he brings in. Okay, fine. They're trying to make Namarti a thing. Mm-hmm. So like, as long as you understand that he is a unit to literally go in and like potentially die right after that, right? You just need one 3d6 charge. So if he's like 100 points and that's what he does, because he himself is also like damage 3 on the chart. So whatever, maybe he'll do a little damage. Who knows? Before he just explodes like a overripe mosquito getting swatted on your arm,
Oh yeah. I mean, I see the words 3d6 charge and I like it.
That's right.
I click.
Yeah. I clicked like. Yeah. So anyways, fine. Yes, more foot heroes, and then potentially we'll have one unit. They implied that there was another unit coming, so that's fine. Whatever. And then perhaps, and then there's the actual book, and the cover art is, I'm sorry to the artist who's, if it's the same artist doing all these, like, I believe you're working very hard. I do not like most anything you're doing in this edition. I'm sorry, your style is just not for me. I don't like this cover. So that's what it comes down to.
Remind me of the cover again. Is it?
It's like it's the
no?
it's just like it's the eel rider guy.
Look, it correctly, it very correctly captures how goofy and stupid the model looks.
Yeah.
So there's that. I don't mind the other style. I think their rendering is good of the image.
Yeah, sure.
They're fine they seem to be great at digitally painting stuff. I don't know if it's the notes they're given or if they have to stick too closely to the model, and also I think the model's a bad choice. I keep trying to make the problem somebody above the original because I'm looking at it, perfectly capable of drawing a well-rendered, elf guy.
Yeah.
Just different pose, different unit, different situation they're in, just different everything. Like whatever notes they were, hey, we need to cover, it has to be this guy, he has to be front row center. He has to look how the model looks, parenthetical dumb. And then just stuff in the distance that's way cooler that you want to be in the foreground instead.
You can tell by in the art direction, they gave a full description of what this model looked like, right? Or potentially showed him like a render of the model, the guy, but did not give him a render of the eels because the little eels that this dude drew,
they're so small,
look basically nothing like the eels on the model itself.
Yeah.
They were just like, and he's got 2 eels at his feet. And the dude was like, okay, cool. I know what eels look like.
Like the basic tiny troop guy or, random foot hero guy that can work for a cover doesn't not work for a cover. It's possible to do it. I just think in a vacuum, centerpieces sell armies and pictures of centerpieces sell books to me.
Yeah. I go back to
you come out swinging with your most impressive, awesome looking thing. I think.
I agree.
Who's on the cover? Arnold. Okay. What's the Predator movie about? I don't know. Arnold's on the cover, right?
Yeah. Like with a giant gun
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I go back to the second edition covers were the covers for me. Think about those. Like and the one I'll call to your head is the Stormcast cover that was on the cover.
Yeah, with the broken shield and everything. Yes. Wonderful. Yes. Yeah.
So good.
That's how you do a single lone infantry guy, right?
Yeah.
You put him in a situation.
Yes, it
that you
feels
can
like,
look
and
at,
that's just it. These feel so
and it's like,
separated
oh,
from the real
something's
world.
happening here. I should look at this a little longer. Oh, we got this here, and then oh,
Yep.
he's okay. Says something about the faction, even as it pertains to the story of the world. You know, the lone beaten down Stormcast, world in flames behind him.
Yes.
Storytelling.
Storytelling
You know
through
that
art.
stuff. You know that stuff.
I don't know what story this is telling other than there's an elf guy and he has eel friends. But anyways, there's that. Also in the news, new General's Handbook going on pre-order this weekend for like a long, it's got the lengthy pre-order or whatever cycle, but so it's not like it ships the week after or whatever, it's got the long time, but still. Yeah, so very exciting. We've got this. We get our little markers now. We've got our own little special neoprene mouse pad mats with little
Yeah, it
special
comes with
symbols
6
on
mouse
them.
pads. That's great.
Yep. Yep. I mean, we've seen some stuff. They've shared a lot of little things. So here's just what I'm going to ask you. Obviously, I know we'll both be doing a full breakdown and all of that. I do think this General's Handbook is going to hit like a meteorite, by the way, based on what I've seen so far. Like, I think
Yeah,
this
I
is going
do.
to feel almost nothing like the current game you're playing. Like, I think
Yeah, that's why I've sort of tiptoed around giving really strong, oh, this is going to change the meta, or this ability, all these previews, right? Oh, this ability, oh, people are going to play this now, people are going to play that now. I'm like vibes based reacting to these because this GHB feels like it's going to be so different.
right.
That kind of, who knows?
I agree. I
Are Gargans
really
going to
do
be great?
think
If there's 6 objectives every battle plan, no. Doesn't matter what abilities you give them. No. How many are? They give us 6 of them. Are they all 6? No, I can see one right there that only has 4, but things are different now. And I don't know, it kind of harkens back to, oh, geez, I'm an old timer now. We've been doing this. Okay, I've been doing this for almost 10 years. You've been doing it for longer. Remember when GHBs used to contain stuff?
Yeah,
Like they used to have stuff in them,
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't 12 cards with battle plans on them, and exactly 2 pages of temporary rules that make one thing OP.
It
They used to have
is.
rules for every army that was lacking them, new stuff
Yeah.
for armies that even had them, and now we're getting a little bit with 2 pages. Okay, 2 pages, not as much as we would like, but it's something for every army in the game. Gives people a reason to buy the thing, even if you're not going to tournaments.
That's right. Gray Boy, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm so glad I get to experience the first GHB since I wasn't in the hobby in 2016. Hey, there you go. All right. Well, this is.
Well, you may have picked a good one to start with.
Yeah, I really think this one will feel like. I think you're going to have AOS before this GHB, and then AOS after, and it will feel like you're playing 2 completely different games. Like that's my read of the situation so far, but time will tell. And I agree.
If I could put this in video game terms, which might be a little distasteful, but it's true. Those games that come out, they're not quite done.
Sure.
But all the marketing machine was pushing them, and they couldn't really say no. And the suit's like, you release the game now.
Yep.
Or you will ask if I would like fries with that. You have 2 choices. And they're like, okay, here's the game. And then there's this giant patch after the game comes out, like 1 month, maybe 2 months, whatever their metrics are.
This is such a good analogy.
Like the last 25% of the game, just about by the time that everyone stopped caring about it after the first 2 weeks and dropped it. And then like exactly 30% of your players come back because it's already too late. And if it was on Game Pass, don't even try it. But this feels like the second half of 4th edition. Like
what was that space exploration game that came out and everybody panned it? It was like you went to planets and stuff. I think you've played it on your stream before.
Oh, you're thinking of one of the great success stories of developers taking responsibility and then making it great. I collect these things. That's why I got into Age of Sigmar in the first place. One of the reasons, did you know? No Man's Sky is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Famously awful, horrible launch, the likes of which we have seen in AOS. A rocky launch by any stretch. And then they stuck with it. They quietly kept working, and now there's like 35 giant expansion packs worth of stuff in No Man's Sky for free, as long as you bought the game one time. And it's got 17 times the content of Starfield. Makes that game look awful. I did that with Final Fantasy 14 as well. Remember The Realm Reborn? Famously in that game, it was the worst MMO ever, they said. And so I bought it after hearing that. I wanted to see how bad it really was. I collect these.
Was real quick? Was 11 the first MMO Final Fantasy? Was that
11
an
was
MMO?
the first MMO
Okay.
Final Fantasy, and also I think the first multi-platform one, because you could play it with a PS2 and play with
Gotcha.
your friend on PC.
That's the only Final
Forever.
Fantasy game I've ever played, and I played 20 minutes of it. I made a character, I ran around, I gained a few levels, and then I died, and I said level down, and I was like, nope, quit, escape,
Famously
uninstall,
very
done.
EverQuesty and very grindy, yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
12
nope, not
had
for me.
MMO style mechanics, but whatever. Yeah, and then the CEO of the company wrote a letter apologizing to the players.
Wow.
Which is very, signed it and everything, and gave everyone who bought the game free access to the Realm Reborn version when they fired everyone and then remade the game. And then it beat World of Warcraft a few years for best MMO.
Wow.
Like Final Fantasy 14, huge success. Basically the only successful MMO aside from WoW, past 20 years, basically, was FF14. And so I collect these little success stories.
Yep.
And Age of Sigmar was one of them.
I think we're about to see it again. This is I think this is our patch right here. This is the big one.
This is our patch, yeah.
This is what we didn't have time to do originally.
First edition, once it became a game, I rather liked it. Second edition, liked it. Third edition,
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I'm with that. Like, I cannot explain that by the end of third edition how much I was like, you know what? I don't really want to play. Like, I was playing the old world all the time. I was like, no, I'm good. I've got this other game now. Like, it was a dark time. Also, okay, so other news. What's this over here? What is this? Hold on, I gotta bring this up here. One moment. There it is. Babow. What's this now? But 2 days from now, Uncle Adam and I's game launches. Speaking of game launches, I don't know that that's what we were talking about or not, but I guess kind of. Uncle Adam and I's newest game comes out. What's it called? We haven't said yet, but you can look at the art. You should be following me on Twitter or Instagram or something, and you would see this stuff. But here's this little piece of content that we shared. So this is a great artist. Did a lot of the stuff for One Page Rules originally, so we were happy to have him come on and do a bunch of art for us. And yeah, so stay tuned.
Looks a little Hellboy, a little bit.
It's a little bit, yeah. It's there's some really cool art in this. I'm very excited about
inspiration to take, yeah.
So, stay tuned. You only got 2 days to go. This Friday, it launches. Yeah, I'm really excited to see everybody's reaction to what's going on there. So check it out. There will be a video, of course, that'll come out that day pointing you toward it, but all of that. But yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be big. And then Snarlcast, Uncle Adam and I's podcast, next Monday will be all about the new game and give you the director's commentary, behind the scenes kind of stuff. So check out both of those things. Snarlcast is linked down below. You should just go subscribe now, I think, probably. That would be my advice. Just so you don't miss it. Okay.
We don't want to forget, it's happening. You're being reminded right now, so just click once, right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't forget.
Yeah.
While you're clicking around down there, hit like, hit subscribe. I mean, look at this dog. Look at this adorable dog over here sleeping right behind me. Look at how cute that is. If you don't hit like, you're a bad person because you don't like dogs. So look at that cute dog.
Every like you don't click slightly wakes it up.
Correct. We'll slightly wake up the dog. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Let's move on to some pick of the week. Hey, what would you like to share with everyone, point them towards, etc.?
I don't know. I'm not prepared for this. I don't consume enough content. How about
you've been busy with a lot of work, haven't had much content on the plate to
I got to do as much work as I can before AI replaces exactly what I do,
That's a good point.
So got to get it out of the way here.
It is good to just go ahead
Apologies
and
for
get it
that.
in now.
Yeah.
All right.
Say we're
Well,
channeling Tom.
go ahead.
Sure. Well, no, I'd have to get a different mic, but
And
there we go.
like
Yeah.
scratch around on a lot. I
So what,
will.
go find the smallest creator possible
There
that
you
you
go.
like their content of and watch them.
I like that
That's
very
my
much. That's a good thing.
recommendation.
I am going to point
Maybe,
everybody this week towards our good buddy, Mr. Doug, Mr. 2+ Tough, who did a wonderful little lore piece on the Gloomspite Gits. Came out yesterday. It's a very nice video. It's all about the sort of moon clans and who are cool and fun and goofy and all of those things, and also never allowed to have good rules, which is what we've all decided. They got good rules once, and specifically once in this
yeah,
entire history. They could do
yeah,
a cool thing, and then we were like, nope, never again. You're done forever now. You got to taste it once. That's it. But yes,
yeah.
check it out.
They're like
Great lore
Slaanesh. They're
story.
like Slaanesh.
Yeah,
They got it one time and
right.
then paying for it forever.
You're done now forever. That's right. So go check out Doug if you want to. If you're a Gloomspite Gits fanatic, there. All right. Let's talk about a little hobby time. Hey, well, you've been painting at all? You been working on anything? You got any? You going to any physical tourneys or anything anytime soon?
Well, let's see. There's Brew City Bash
Mm-hmm.
or Brew City Blowout, Cream City Brew. It's Brew City something, and it's typically a 3,000 point tournament, which I happen to like.
Sure. This is
I
in
have found
Milwaukee, I
that
assume, or something.
this is in Milwaukee, yeah, and it happens every year. It's coming up. I don't know exactly when. I'm not good with dates, or names, colors, shapes, numbers, things like that. Um, but it's a good time, and 3,000 points I've found is very fun in Age of Sigmar. I have found that 3,000 point games are perhaps more balanced than 2,000 point games
Sure,
in
because it
the
just gets
aggregate.
wild.
And they don't actually take that much longer than 2K games
Right.
to play. Because 3,000 points kills 3,000 points pretty thoroughly, just as 2,000 points kills 2,000 points pretty thoroughly. Double
Right.
turns are softer. You have way more left over after them,
Right.
as it happens. And everyone just gets to play their big crap that, oh, this is cool, but it's too expensive. This thing is good, but it's too expensive. You see a lot of 2K lists where they just put every god on top of it, and then, oh, that's my 3,000 point list.
Sure.
Fun stuff. Anyway,
Well, it's
so I would
because you hit
recommend it.
because you can only reinforce a unit once, you hit a scaling thing, right? Where you just actually
Yeah.
have to put in more units, right? That's what it comes
Yeah.
down to. You can't just keep building your Death Star or whatever, right? Whereas oftentimes in 2K that ends up being the thing. Like, can you like
Mhm.
the difference between your Varangard 6-man unit being like 640 points and 700 points is ultimately irrelevant to your list. Like, they're still going to be completely worth that, right?
Yeah. And so
But they just can't do as
see a
much in
lot
a
of
3,000 point game.
you'll see a lot of 2,000 point Slaves to Darkness armies.
Sure.
And then they're like, oh, well, I'll take my 2,000 points of Vanguard and stuff, and then I'll put Abraxia and Archeon in it. All
Sure.
right, there's my 3,000. Let's go. And so it's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun.
I love it. So that's coming up. You've been working on anything for it, or you already got everything
I
ready to
own
go?
so many monster trucks. You have perhaps some idea.
Sure.
I have to decide what 3,000 points of monster trucks I'm about to field here, even though they made them cheaper. I will probably get to it. You know, I'm a real life hermit here, living in a wizard tower at the top of a mountain, and I have to leave the house in a week and a half. I got to go to New York for reasons, but so that might be too much traveling for this 5-month span. We'll see, but I'm gonna try to maybe make it out for old time's sake.
Dig it. Myself, I'm working on two things. One thing is this little fun dwarf here from Spira, from the Spira Mirabilis line. I don't know how you say that, but anyways, he's really fun. He'll show up in a couple of videos in the future. I'm also working on another thing that I can't show, but it's over here. It's right off camera. It's big, and that's all I can say. But you'll see it as well in the future at some point. So there you go. Okay. So yeah. So my hobby time is interesting. I'm fighting with this big thing to have to figure out exactly how the heck I'm going to render what I want to render on it. But we'll see. Does Halo paint in the dark? He just has one really bright, intense, single light. Yeah.
I got a spotlight. It's one light. As long as the rest of the room is still dark, we're good, you know?
Right.
So I do it that way.
Logical. Completely logical. All right. With that, shall we proceed to talk Soggy? Let's go with the Sog. We're actually going to start Halo way back in time here with the Daughters of Cain. We're going way back because we're going to do the last, like all the ones we haven't gotten to do yet on this show, which starts with the Daughters of Cain from last week.
I got a thing if you want me to.
I'm ready. You got a thing?
This, if that's all right. Yeah, I wrote a thing.
I turn it over to you.
Every time I come on the show, it seems I have to write a thing.
I stand prepared.
And this one's maybe a little meandering, but it has to do a little bit with what's happening here. Subtext and all. Ahem. Earlier today, I watched a live developer interview with Jonathan Rogers, lead game designer for Path of Exile 2. If you don't know, computer game, action RPG, very stat and build heavy, endlessly grinding for the sake of grinding style game. Very Johnny, very spreadsheets, sphere grids, gear Tetris to eke out a percent of extra bonus kind of game series. And one of the questions was on player statistics as it relates to balance and making changes. The example at hand was a super obvious one that 50% of player deaths in the end game, 50, were being caused by volatile plants, this chaos damage move they had. And Jonathan talked about how players had been complaining since 0.1 that we needed to increase the cap on chaos resistance past 75% because it felt too weak. All the players are like, chaos resistance sucks. We need to go higher than 75%. We keep dying. Internal testing had it quite strong at 75%, but as soon as they brought up some numbers on player deaths, here are these random plants doing volatile ground explosions, killing 50% of all players. Aha. The stat is fine. The cap is fine. There's just this one ability acting as a massive outlier on damage and perhaps visibility. Lord Rosewater stepping right in. Players aren't always great at finding solutions, but they're good at finding problems. This was a follow-up. Try asked, in what less obvious ways were they using stats like these? And Jonathan said that they have not traditionally been a very data-driven company, despite being an online video game based on Path of Exile 1, which was inspired by Diablo 2. As an aside, you can consider PoE 1 to be the Paizo Pathfinder that sprung into being and success after the disappointing and wild new direction of D&D 4th edition that was Diablo 3. Okay. Anyway, he said that they've not traditionally been a very data-driven company. Usually they just play the game themselves and see if it feels right, then crunch the numbers at the end point to smooth over the cracks. The designers that work on PoE are one or two standard deviations above what one might consider casual in the video game space, and so too is their target audience. But much like another company we may be familiar with, they recently got a data person, he said. And the worry he always has with data people in the past, and getting one, was that the pure numbers are nothing without the context for why they are what they are. And more so that they can point in the wrong direction if the data person isn't intimately familiar with playing the game, or that particular class, or that particular skill. What he worried about with data people is if you just go into the stats without really knowing why you are currently going into the stats, you can run into spurious things that have just happened to go one way or the other, or are entirely contingent on something else that isn't even on your radar. You need to really know why you're looking into a particular number, and what strings that number is attached to. Moreover, there could be a skill everyone uses but no one likes, or that everyone takes but no one uses, because that skill maybe is a requirement to get the skill they really want, and they just use the second one. Take rate is still high, looks good in the data, but the use case is bad. Is that a problem? Well, yes, Buttons are meant to be pressed. If the only take is to unlock the next one, why have it be a skill at all? Make it a passive, make it cost money, make it cost points or whatever. Why make art and sound and animate a skill that won't be used? He wanted someone who was very familiar with also playing the game to work alongside their team, to know why they're looking at that number to begin with and realize what that number and why it is what it is. Why don't warriors use Earthquake? Because it has a 4-second delay. You can have the delay with a gem, but that's -1 gem against any other skill. Remember, take something good and make it great. Plus, even a 2-second delay is entirely a deal breaker. If you give Earthquake more damage, no one will care. They don't use it because it's slow. They don't not use it because of the damage. Anyway, the interview got me thinking about that from my outsider perspective and data person, plus supporting team of designers that I'll constantly play Path of Exile. In GW, maybe I'm looking for the latter to complement the former.
Nice. Love it. I think that, first of all, shout out CJ. What's up, CJ? Thank you very much for the super chat. Yes, the Conclave of Sorcerers has assembled. Absolutely correct. Although I don't know what a sorcerer is. Do you mean wizards? There are only wizards. Sorcerers are, I don't know what that is. That's a knockoff nothing. Sorcerers, warlocks, all of these things. These are just weird
archetype,
other names for wizards.
Archetype of wizard, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. All like at best, that's a wizard kid at best.
Oh.
So I think that's really good because in my normal job, I work a lot with the data people. Like I am not on the data team, but I have to work with them, interface with them a lot. And the thing I always push on is data analysis isn't enough. You have to do data synthesis, right? Data synthesis is when you're actually combining whatever the analysis says, this percentage, this take, this use, this click, right? Because obviously we run software, and so we have all these stats and stuff and things like that with like why, the whys, the who's, the user journey. What are they doing? Why are they doing it, right? Did they want to do that? It's exactly what you said. Like, yeah, oh, great. They all use this thing and click this thing, but do they like it? Is that too many clicks? Would they rather not do any of that crap at all? Could we make this radically simpler, right? These are all the you can't just stop at the numbers. And I do think that sometimes with some of these armies is missing because it's obvious that they don't have people who have the full user journey within each individual army mapped out. That's what it comes down to. You can tell the armies where they are empathetic with the user experience, right? And have it well known versus the ones they don't. That's what I'll say. That's my read.
Yeah, and this isn't necessarily a huge indictment. I suppose it is because they're the company that make it. But like if they hired me to fix all the armies, boy howdy, I'd be great at fixing ogres.
Right.
But I would have to start from nothing to fix Slaanesh.
Sure.
Seraphon,
or like Fire Slayers. Like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah. I'd have to be like, okay, what do you do? Who are you? Okay. I'd have to start from nothing. I'd try, give it a good college try, but
sure.
There's a lot of armies in the game.
Yeah. When I did those rewrites, I focused on the armies I knew because I was like, I can't do the rest of these things. I don't have any authority to rewrite KO. I don't know what's going on over there. They got boats. End of knowledge. So it's like, whatever. All right.
Some armies would be easier than others, right? There's a difference between fixing the filigree on the outside of a vase and throwing a new pot.
That's right. All right, let's talk about some of the specifics here. Let's see how they did in that light.
I'm going to be bringing them up at the same time as you are.
Sounds good. We're going to start with the Daughters of Cain. So, Doc. We got 2 new battle formations, the Coven Zealots, which I don't like, and the Arena Veterans, which theoretically I like, even though it doesn't have that huge of an ability, but it's still not bad. And both of them are about elves because elves are the underplayed part of the army.
Yeah.
And that's because they're the earthquake example you gave. Okay. No one's not playing elves because they don't do enough damage or something like that. They're not playing them because 20 health max unit models or 20 health units on a 5 or 6 up save are basically nothing, right? They die
Yeah,
incidentally.
it's Namardi Thrall's problem.
Yes.
Like,
And you can go
perennially,
on and on
forever.
and on, right? Dark Oath.
Yeah.
Like a ton of things in the game run into this problem. You're on a 5-up or 6-up save. You get 20 health max in the unit. That's just chaff. They can't kill anything of value, and they can die really easy.
Yeah. And we're not exactly in a heyday for chaff in this edition.
Right. Now,
For a
maybe that'll
variety
all
of
change.
reasons. But
Maybe that'll all change. Who knows? But for
THQ
now,
could roll in, everything's different, but at this exact moment, no.
right. And as I've said, the problem with daughters is like you need to be charging with like 2 units, right? Like you want to have 2 units get into combat and put pressure on your enemy in 2 different points. The problem with that is if you charge like an elf unit here and an elf unit here, you'll attack with this one, hopefully do some decent enough damage. Let's just imagine you got off Mind Razor or you jumped through the ridiculous series of hoops.
That's a huge linchpin that I think is a problem. You have to make an 8 cast and your damage literally doubles.
Correct.
And your whole army has that carrying it on its shoulders.
Yep.
An 8 cast of Damocles sort of for the whole army, which is a rough one.
And then what happens with the second unit is they die, right? Because then the enemy activates whatever their unit is, kills your 20 health 6-up save elves. They just die because it doesn't take almost anything to do 20 damage to a 6-up save 6-up ward unit. And you don't get to go again. You have like maybe 3 elves who are like, get them. Right? And so it's like, what did you do there? You literally lost more on your turn than you took. Terrible. And then they're going to go and just crush you. If you're losing more you can't afford those kinds of losses on your turn. Because if you're losing that kind of stuff off tempo, you're dead. Or sorry, on tempo, you're dead off tempo.
Yeah,
right?
Especially as a trader army. Like,
yes.
A lot of armies are trader armies. They're trying to trade. Okay, well, I'm trading X for Y. And if yours is worth more, then I'm winning. And there's some tempo stuff in there. And unless your guys are really, really cheap, or they come back to life really easily and are fast or something, you can't be losing equivalent or worse points on your own turn, much less on your opponent's.
That's right. And there's Cool Hall says, and then FEC respawns that Morbeg you killed on the other side. Yes, exactly, right? Like you get in there, you actually do some damage, and then they just respawn the unit or heal them or whatever. All right. But anyways, Graceful Illusion, it's just not a word I don't think that's correct, but I understand what they're going for there. I do like the concept because what they're trying to do here is answer the trade, right? So any combat phase for the rest of the phase, friendly Daughters of Cain elf infantry units have a ward of 5-up until they fight. So what they're trying to do, I like that they recognize the problem, right? Like this actually represents properly identifying the issue. Okay. But I don't know that going from a ward of 6-up to a ward of 5-up is suddenly like, oh, well, now the unit's bulletproof. they're gonna survive. That is not a lot of change. It's not bad, but it's correctly minded. I just don't think it's actually getting anywhere.
Yeah, it is. That's a good way to put it. It is correctly minded. The problem with them is that they die to anything. Dies to removal, right?
Yeah.
They even thought ahead, though. We don't want this to be too good, right? So we're going to build in some counterplay to it. You have to activate it in the combat phase. You can shoot them before that, and they'll blow up or whatever if you're trying to shoot. And after they fight, they lose the ward. So maybe if they were fighting 2 units or too much stuff, they'll die to the kickback or whatever. Mostly it's now I can fight with 2 guys or 2 squads, and the second squad, before they have fought, at least a 6-up save with a 5-up board. I don't know what your equivalent amount of durability will put that at. Might live to a non-hammer.
Yeah. If it was me, I would have gone all the way and it should have been a 4-up board. That's what this should have been. Like, just let it be. Let it be. It's fine.
Don't like it, shoot them.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you still lose half the unit because they effectively have no armor. It would just make them the equivalent of Nighthaunt. When like
those rules they give where you bring back half the unit.
Yeah,
just the opposite of that. You lose half the unit with a 4-up.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like, I really don't think it would have been problematic.
With fewer steps.
Yes, exactly. I really think it would have been fine. But anyways, all right. Then we got a new prayer lore, which is fine. We got a 3, 3, and a 4, which I like. I like the numbers here. That's good. Good low
Yeah,
prayer
they've been
score.
reducing these numbers on the prayer lores, and I appreciate that a little more.
Agreed.
Because I don't know, early on, at least with my army and some others, I was seeing 5s everywhere,
Oh my God.
sometimes 4s.
Ridiculous.
You know, oh, if you get a 10, now it's like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of 3s mostly in most of these prayer lores, and the new prayer that lets you just farm the juice.
Yeah, just farm juice. What are you doing,
Just
farming juice?
farming.
Yep.
Now, most armies did have something they could pray for.
Sure. You just like pray for a thing you
but
didn't care about. But
not
yes,
everybody did. So
it was dumb that you were doing that, right? Like you're praying for something you have no intention of ever
the old
actually
Tzeentch
resolving.
casting a spell when nothing's in range, because technically you could cast it and succeed.
Throwing
and,
magic at the
that
ground. I
whole
hated
thing.
it so much. All right.
Yeah.
So now you've got Shadow Step. The priest chants it on a 3. You pick an elf infantry unit wholly within 12. Shortish range for a buff, but it's okay. The target can move 6 inches. It can move through the combat range of enemy units, but cannot end that move in combat. If the chanting roll is 8+, you can pick another eligible unit to be a second target. I think this is a great spell. This is very good.
Yep, doesn't count as a run or anything.
That's right.
It's only your hero phase. It might get problematic if it was on both. 6 inches is a fine amount. Ask my wife.
Can walk them right out of combat.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can just, it says you can move through combat range, but you can't end there. So as long as you can get fully away.
Stupid, annoying, like be able to enter combat and screw with your opponent's movement in there, like hero phase, any of that nonsense.
It's more like Dancy. You can get yourself out of a bad combat, which is
like,
fun.
what if elves were fast? You could make them fast. So
get you across the board faster, get you out of a bad situation.
At least get there, you know.
Yep.
So.
Yep. It's good. It's good prayer.
All good. Yeah.
Scath scale. You can pick a friendly Daughters of Cain elf infantry. Do you see a theme yet? It's the elves. We care about the elves. And then effect until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from wound rolls for combat attacks that target that friendly unit. Chanting rolls 8+ until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from wound rolls for combat attacks that target friendly Daughters of Cain elf infantry units while they're wholly within 12 inches of the target of this ability instead. So -1 to wound is a really good debuff. Nice to, again, combined with that 5-up. Okay, now we're actually getting towards survivability in some way.
We are kind of getting somewhere, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do like that they can become a bubble. That's actually quite fun, right? It's not pick a second unit. It's you still pick that one unit, but then they become a bubble out of the thing, not the chanter, which I actually like because it lets you project the bubble much more forward, which is nice.
Do note that it's wholly within 12 of the target.
Yes.
Of the thing. So it's not the caster, which you might initially think if you're reading it quickly.
That's right. So that's good.
Neat.
Again, good prayer on a 3. Okay, nice. As someone who regularly has neg1 to be wounded and neg1 to be hit up around, because I'm playing a lot of soggy screaming bell combined with the bell of Dom in Skaven. Let me tell you what. You know what makes your rat survive? Constantly putting your enemies under neg1 to hit and neg1 to wound all the time in a massive bubble. Yeah. It's great. And
getting on 5s and 3s as an ogre is a hell of a drug.
Yes, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of 5s and 3s.
Nothing.
Yeah, it does lessen the incoming damage. I'll say that. And then finally, Exaltation of Murder. Again, Daughters of Cain priest. Pick a friendly Daughters of Cain elf infantry. Blah blah. So 3 buffs. This one's on a 4, but I love a prayer lore with 3 buffs. I don't need an offensive prayer. Just give me 3 good buffs. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Until the start of your next turn,
add 1 ranges on the debuffs anyway nowadays. So
right, exactly.
And the buffs are always the best ones anyhow.
Yep. You get 1 to wound rolls for target's combat attacks. If the chanting roll was 9+, till the start of your next turn, add 1 to the attacks characteristics. Great. +1 to wound, +1 to attack. So I got a little defense. I got a movie unlimited prayer. I got a protecty prayer. I got an offensive prayer. Correct. Yep. This is the way you build a prayer lore.
What else could you want?
Right.
The triad. And it smells a little bit like it's not quite the murder spell, right? But +1 attacks is great, and +1 wound is great.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of half of a sippy cup, half of a murder. Looking pretty nice.
I agree.
Prayers.
And then, of course, we got 2 new scrolls. We've got Crethuza, the Crone Seer, and the new Bloodrack Shrine. So Crethuza is 240. She's got, 12, 6, 5, 2, her wheel with a 6-up ward because
She's got everything. They put everything on this one.
Yes. She has her enemy hero phase. She just gets D3 ritual points.
Great. Just sure. Yeah.
Fun.
Just get them.
She has a priest too, by the way, which is cool. She wasn't
double priest.
She's a double priesto. And then
double
she's
priest,
got her
flying 12.
Yes.
For those wholly within buff zones, a lot easier to do. Blood ritual is so good.
It is.
Let's see. Let's pick one of the following effects to apply until the start of next turn. Enemy units cannot use commands while they're in combat with the target. Amazing.
Yep.
Other than companion, weapon abilities used by enemy units while they're in combat have no effect. Amazing.
Great.
Subtract 1 from ward rolls made for damage points inflicted by the target's combat attacks. Amazing. There's no bad choice here. If the chanting roll is 9, don't worry about there being no bad choice.
Don't worry about it, kid. Just get all of them.
All you can eat.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts at a 3. Really good. Really quite nice. And by the way, resurrect half a unit for a command point. No roll required.
Yep.
Well, geez, if you wanted a hero for your elf lady army, she does everything that 3 other foot heroes in some other army would all combine to do. That's your subtraction.
Yes.
So hey,
it's really good.
A foot hero.
She's solid.
They can do this on purpose if they want. That's what this means.
Absolutely.
They're capable of typing those words if they really want to.
Every time I see a really good hero like this, and we're going to see another one, by the way. This isn't the only time that's going to happen. There's several of these like named heroes that they actually put the juice on. They put a little stank on it. And I'm like, okay, you guys can actually write these. Why aren't they all like this?
I knew you could do it.
I believed in you the whole time.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the Bloodrack Shrine, I don't care. I'm going to be honest.
It's fine. I do. I'll tell you why. I use the Bloodrack Shrine all the time in my Doc army when I play it. I love this thing. This thing's a total goofball unit, but I love it. I've never used the foot one. I've always used this one. So, Wizard 2, she got the 12 health. She got the survivability. I like that I can drive her around on her little cart and shoot at people. I actually like this shooting attack better than the other one because the other one's like a horde buster type thing. It's kind of hard to use. This one's just a nice, solid, 4 attacks with Ren 2 and damage 3, and crit 2 hits. It's fine. It's worth probably 3 to 6 damage when you shoot it off at a 15-inch range.
You can shoot in combat too.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is great. Good. A+. Yeah. Okay. I also like that we simplified the attack profile down because the other one has her separate from the people, and it's just I don't want to roll through these other crappy attacks. Just give me one profile. Thank you.
What's the melee weapon profile called? It's called the Bloodrack Shrine attacks.
Yeah, exactly.
8 of them.
I do like how they keep. I wonder what the end of this progression is. It'll just be the Medusa Spear and Shrine Keeper's Goad Stabs and this and that. Just 17 things there.
Medusa's Spear and Shrine Keeper Goat Staves and
spiky bits,
vice-like jaws from Seraphon, plus 1 spiky wheel and a slave. Okay,
exactly. Sure. So she's got a spell, Reflected Agony. Until the start of your next turn, enemy units and enemy manifestations cannot be set up within 12 of this unit. Okay, fine, whatever. It's not terrible, but it's whatever. I mean, it's pushing out your range by 3 inches, which is okay. I actually think it's funny. Hey, well, the world of incentives. Okay. So this spell is a hard lock on setting up within 12 inches, right? You just can't.
Yeah,
you just can't do it.
Cannot. Yeah.
But there is a model we're going to look at towards the end of this review that does not have a hard lock, but does a better job of making sure no one sets up anywhere near it. Okay.
Okay.
It's a wonderful story and the power of incentives that you don't actually need to say you can't do this to have something never happen. Okay. So you'll see. All right.
And then auxiliary units.
Right.
You could have banned auxiliary units, but instead you wrote the rules for auxiliary units.
Yes.
Kind of
Once per turn, army, any shooting phase, the rack engage, pick a visible enemy unit within 15, roll a die if the roll is equal to or less than that enemy unit's health characteristic. For the rest of the phase, you can reroll failed hit rolls for attacks made by this unit that target that unit.
Damn, I never thought I would see this again. Remember, man, we're talking about GHBs from the first edition. Reroll failed hit rolls.
I know, we're back, baby.
Welcome home, old friend. Man, when is Mystic Shield going to be reroll ones?
So it's fine. She's okay. She's 230. I still like her because she's Wizard 2. And like that shooting phase thing is fine.
Low 200. Yeah.
Yeah. With like 12 health. That's why I'm taking her. I'm taking her for Wizzy 2 and 12 health on a 4 up, 6 up. All right, cool. Overall, I would say Daughter's one, pretty cool, pretty good. Like the elf stuff needed work. I don't know that this got there, but it did open up the options. Elf people will feel better and feel like they're not like just literally ice skating uphill anymore. So that's a good thing. Okay. So overall, it gets one of these. Let's go to the next one. I'll have to move a little quicker, I think, for the rest of these. That was a long time on that one, but that's okay. Daughters are interesting. All right, so Seraphon
had a big sneeze.
You're good, buddy. You're good. Seraphon, Lizard Man.
Yeah.
You tell him, Steve. So one of my favorite jokes in the history of Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. First name, last name, occupation. Lizard Man. To which his buddy then immediately replies, "You tell him, Steve." That is
Steve.
That is such a good joke. I can't even. Geniuses. Okay. At any rate, heroic traits. So we got new heroic traits. No new formations here. Just traits and monstrous traits. So we get that net new action for the Seraphon, which is good.
And monster traits are pure value, just free.
Just free new stuff.
Free new power. Yeah.
Yep. So once per turn reaction, you declared the Further the Great Plan ability, which you do in round 3. And you can pick 2 different asterism abilities instead of 1. They are both used in addition to the one you picked in the deployment phase. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Nice for the last turn of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just thinking. Yes, exactly.
Good final turn.
I do like how they write a lot of rules pretending like the game is 5 turns. Right?
Yeah.
That is truly my favorite thing. Like, how long is this game? Oh, it's 5 turns long. That's what it says in the rules. Sure it is. Sure it is. Like 80% of games aren't over in round 3.
How long is this Magic game? Well, 60 cards in your library minus 7, I guess.
Right. Exactly. Like we're pretending that if you're lucky, you get to draw the top 6 or something. You know, like that's what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long is this Tekken match? Well, they give you 99 seconds. So
it's true. Yeah.
Never mind. He parried low. It's all over.
It's all over with the crying. All right. And then passive Child of the Stars. This unit would be destroyed before removing it. Blah, blah. 3 up. This thing is back. They love this rule.
For 5 seconds. I hate this rule. I hate these rules. This is an inside-out version of once a game, nothing happens.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't say once per game, but it is.
Yep.
I don't like this. I don't like this type of rule. I can't fully enunciate why, because I'd have to write it down, and it would be another "so I wrote a thing." So maybe next time I'll write a thing about why. But yeah. Oh, I lost my guy. Let me roll a die. Oh, okay. Never mind. This 3-hour game. This thing that I spent a resource on instead of something else does nothing.
Yes.
Or
once a game, you get to potentially roll for disappointment.
Complete, like, change the game. Oh, he's alive instead. I'll put him here. He gains life. You thought you killed him. You just didn't. I'm kind of like breaking the rules. I know everything is exception based, but what a huge swing something like this could be, and just being like, well, it's really powerful, so have him roll once.
Right.
In the great aggregate among 100 games, that's probably balanced. But if you zoom into each individual game, it's sort of like a big downer for either player, no matter what.
Yep.
And I don't like that kind of thing.
Completely agreed. This ability went away for a while. If you remember, like back in second edition, there was a bunch of instances.
Luna's had a bunch of them and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Then it was gone, and now they rediscovered it, like forgotten treasure at the bottom of the mine, right? They were like,
well, they rediscovered the alien eggs with the spacesuit draped across it. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Then
Anyways,
finally,
chosen of pretzel.
yes, the pretzel chosen. You pick a visible, friendly, non-monster skink unit that is in combat and is wholly within 12. On a 3-up, the target can move up to 8 inches. It can move through combat ranges of enemy units, but cannot move that in combat in any combat phase. Fun. Your little skinky guys get to just like leave combat. One
Target
unit of it.
skinks start sounding a little bit like Skaven in the distance, maybe against the wind. But that's good. Strong
It is a strong ability. I wish they hadn't said non-monster. Why can't my skink chief do cool things? Why?
This is supposed to be the monster update, isn't it? I guess they threw random skink stuff about them. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got 3 new monster traits. Titan, which again, net new, so I'm never going to complain about these. Anything is like net new, it's like fine. It's just bonus. Like so
you're not choosing it instead of anything else. It's just here. It's free.
Right.
Real estate.
It's just real estate. Titan of the land, you get to this is really funny. This unit gets to count as a terrain piece with a Realm Shaper engine, but it doesn't itself doesn't take any damage. That's fun. So it can just echo out. I actually like that quite a bit. Because having terrain sucks in this edition. It sucks.
But mobile terrain kind of nice.
Right. Yeah. Like my null holes make me angry. Turning my the new soggy rules where you can turn your bell into a null hole rules.
Yeah. If they allowed my pizza pit to move 4 inches every turn in Ogres, I would like it a lot more. I mean, I think it's one of the better terrain features in the whole game. This isn't one of those my army sucks, downplay everything. Pizza pit's really good. But if it could move, oh boy.
It'd be great. BBBs said he recently watched Aliens for the first time and it was such a great movie. 10 out of 10. BBBs, I have to ask, have you watched Alien? Like the first one? Did you just like watch the original one and then stop? And you were like, I'm going to just give this a while? Or did you just start with Aliens? Which wouldn't be weird, by the way. I watched Aliens before I watched Alien, just because it was like, came out when I was alive versus when I wasn't. So.
Oh, it's classic Jim Cameraman live action anime from the late 80s.
Absolutely. All right.
Although, a special note, once you've finished watching Aliens, the sequel to Alien, you can stop there. They made like 6 more. Do not.
No, they didn't.
Nothing of value.
Just cut it off. We're good.
You're fine. Yeah.
You missed
Anyway,
nothing.
They also got Black Clatterhorn, Ancient Defender.
That's right.
For +1 hit rolls for attacks made by this unit's companion weapons. That's great, because usually companion weapons are the good ones. And then they have Metal Cruncher, Armor Cruncher.
I know.
Which is roll a die. If the roll equals or exceeds the target's save characteristic, what it means is if it has a good save, you have -1 from the save rolls. And if they have a bad save, then it's fine that you fail this, because they have a bad save, they'll die anyway. It just it shrinks the bell curve. You're good. All of these are good.
Yes.
See, I told you they could do it. They could do it. Look at these 3. How fun. How nice.
I like that they gave 3 good ones that I would just happily take any.
Yeah.
My greatest regret is, why can't I take more than 1? Why do we not have a mechanism to let me get more enhancements of some kind? Right.
Yeah. I want to take more than 1. In the Seraphon army, where they're finally like, what's in my notes here? Seraphon, what if big dinos did damage and were fun? ?
Right.
Yeah. Because I think that's a lot of, you're looking at Seraphon and you're like, I want to play big dinos and I want them to smash and be fun.
Yep.
And they've resisted that a lot. And now here with the coming of Saurus Oldblood, I'm looking at this dude. This dude kind of slaps.
He's no joke. His biggest problem is that 4-up to hit. But hey, didn't we just see something that said get +1 to hit? That seems pretty good.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
There's a problem. Well, okay, there's a solution in the monster traits, looking for the problem of the 4s to hit.
Yep.
Kind of nice with it. 14, 10, 4. It could be 12 if you take the 1 subfaction. +1 damage with companion weapons if something is damaged already. Okay. Friendly Agrodon Lancers don't lose rage tokens. I don't know what that means. I read through the rage token things. It sounded annoying to keep track of. People tell me they're good. Okay, good.
It is annoying to keep track of, but you have to have a guy like this, because this basically he now does. Thank you very much, Grey Boy, for the super chat. When he said Seraphon Dino's good, never in my life. Well, they were at one time, but yes, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Basically, this is what the Agrodon Lancer boss did. Like he had this ability, because if the tokens fall off, they're almost impossible to use. to any value. So giving him the Agradon mounted hero ability where he makes the people keep the tokens is just like necessary if you want to use that unit. And the Agradon Lancers are like really strong. They're what you wish. I can make this real simple. You know your Mournfang?
Yeah.
They're like how you wish your Mournfang worked.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And they gave him old school roar, just straight up.
Just straight up
roar. 3-up roar. Great rampage. This guy's awesome. You can take more than one of him. Big Dinos smash. Seraphon, actual thumbs up for me here. This is a good one. One of those good ones.
He's 340 points, and I'm fine with that. I think he's worth it.
That.
Yeah, 100%. Swinging in with potentially, 8 attacks, hitting on 3s, 2s with a average to good rend and doing 5 and 4 damage. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. That is like not a small amount of damage. So seems good. All right, Seraphon, big thumbs up. Like, again, I'm not sure about the heroic traits. They're okay at best, but the monster traits are all good. And who cares? You already had heroic traits that were fine. So whatever.
Yeah. And sub-factions that were already good.
Yes.
All the rest.
All right, next up. S2D, Slaves to Darkness. Okay, so, like, let's be real here. We all knew before this ever got published that this was going to say the word Dark Oath or something like 5,000 times, right? Like,
stop reading there.
Yeah, like when I saw where this was going, that they were like, oh, we're going to try to make the things that aren't taken and aren't good at least be usable or have a lane. I was like, I am ready for this update to say Dark Oath in every single ability. I was slightly wrong. Okay, it didn't all say that, but it does say it a lot. I love that they found the other thing that is undertaken or under cared about, which is the apotheosis thing. And we're like, no, we really mean it, because they realized somebody had to tell them, hey man, have you ever tried this? It is impossible.
Have you ever played this?
Right.
Because Flesh Eater Courts had a very similar issue with this one.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I got it. Your foot heroes are going to enter combat and win. And then after that, you're going to become a Wind Fury totem. I'm like, hold on. What was the first thing you said?
Hold on,
We're going to enter combat. Okay. Enter combat with a foot hero is already like you're halfway finished drawing the owl. Because you got to get there. Now, then again,
is that foot hero like the Light of Eltharion? If the answer is no, then what are we doing here?
Charge? Can you teleport? What's your movement?
Are you on a 2-up, 4-up?
Forgotten Nightmares, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. So we've got 2 new formations. The Chaos Horde, which is exactly what you think it is. Okay. Yeah. This is the Dark Oath thing. You pick friendly Warriors of Chaos unit, then pick up to 2 friendly visible Dark Oath units that don't have a pledge. And basically it's a way, because one of the problems is the way the pledge mechanic works is you start with 1, basically because of the banner. And then every your hero phase, somebody else can find Jesus, right? Yeah. Oh, Lord Slaanesh, I do see the light and the power, and I am ready to serve, all right? And so, like their religious revelation in the middle. I know some people are more generous with it and say it's like Conan yelling at Crom before he goes in there, like, help me, or if you don't, then to hell with you, that kind of a thing. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it really does read like they just in the middle of every battle, a bunch of atheists find God is how it reads to me.
To me, it's that meme of those 2 guys looking at the computer spreadsheet with a folder, and one of them's like, yeah, like that. Like, we should have an ability that work. Oh, we should be good.
Yes.
We always could have had a +1 to that. Should have just added it.
Should have just done it. So the problem, though, with that mechanic, okay. Hey, what's up, Warhammer? Glad to see you over here. Good to see you again, buddy. So I'm just going to assume it's the entire Warhammer crew, including the editor. I assume all 3 of you are huddled around the computer right now, all watching together. At any rate,
we're all sharing one account. That YouTube Red ain't cheap, So
that's right. The problem with it is, as we said, first of
Not
all,
to
the game is
besmirch
based.
them, their name is Poor Hammer, so joke explainer. Anyway,
Yes.
it was very nice being on their podcast.
You got like 3 rounds in the game, right? Well, if I can start with 1 unit and I get to pick 1 in each hero phase, well, this one matters basically not at all because we're at the end of the game, right? So I get 3 units that matter. But if I'm going to play Dark Oath, ostensibly I have, you know, a lot of units, right? And that's really hard to just get them all actually pledged and using their abilities, right? And so this is actually a good answer to that. Like, again, they saw a problem where the design didn't meet the function and they were like, cool, here's a rule that fixes that. Okay, great.
That's a lot of these GHB things. It doesn't always hit the mark.
Right.
But I'm looking and I'm seeing that at least for most of them, they're like, they have identified the problem.
Yes, which is important.
And
look, first step on any good product management journey, identify the problem.
That's actually huge. So much time and effort could have been wasted by, we'll just add more damage to Earthquake.
Right.
That's why people aren't using it.
So
then again, it's on Dark Oath, and it's like you could have chosen Fridge for Zeta, and you chose random quasi naked guys.
Sure.
Look, if you like quasi naked guys, I got a Slaanesh army for you. We're in STD for Fridge for Zeta. But it's nice that they're getting. You can't just ignore them just because I think they're stupid, right?
Right.
You got to give them something.
Absolutely. Then you've got Paragons of Darkness, which is one of my favorite. This is it, by the way. I play S2D semi regularly ish. I don't know, once every. But like S2D is probably one of my. I play Skaven like quite regularly. Most weekends I play 2 to 3 games. So like once a month ish, I probably get out my S2D. Like I play Skaven every weekend, and then I'll alternate the other games so I can keep playing around and trying new rules and stuff. But like none of the existing sub factions do anything for me. None of them like literally do anything. None of them light my fire. This is bad and exactly speaking to me. Hello, Timmy Trap, my old friend. Let's go. Yes, I did want to load up on Exalted Heroes of Chaos, bonus heroes, and other stupid nonsense, and just send them screaming.
How many bonus heroes can you fit in here? 100 point, 90 point, just random guys, almost double their attacks, probably.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh, we're ready to go. That's right. Get ready. These dudes are gonna throw down, son. Here comes the ripping and the tearing. Bruce with the super chat saying, not to derail the chat, but any tips on playing Soulblight Gravelords? My friends play Stormcast and Slaves to Darkness, and I have never won. First of all, that's rough. Because Soulblight is, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad, Bruce, but Soulblight is an amazingly good army, like ridiculously good. Okay. But yes, I can help you out. You ready? Okay. You're going to take like a Vengorian Lord or whatever. You're going to take 2 units of 10 Barrow Knights. Okay. That's very important. 2 units of 10 Barrow Knights. Probably some Dire Wolves. That needs to be in there. Lots of heavy chaff that you can go tie things up with. Okay. Like just go tie up their stuff. If you got like, there's a lot of different builds of this. I've seen people use the 20 pack of Dire Wolves, which is a complete nightmare because it's like 40 health that can run and charge. So you can just like send this massive pack at like their Varangard or whatever they happen to have that's their butt kicker and just be like, yeah, kill that. Go ahead. Go nuts. Go nuts on this 40 health of crap I literally don't care about and cost me 5 points that I'll bring back half of the second you onto one of your objectives, the second you kill it. This is all upside for me. And then you just kill stuff with your Bear Knights and the Vengo Lord who are just running around sapping rend off of people. That would be my advice. There's probably more like there's other tweaks and stuff like that, but that's kind of a nice strong center for you. And those guys will rip through S2D and SCE. Like your friends are probably playing heavy attrition damage armies against you. And the problem is you get out attrition to bite them because they're all on a 3-up save and you're on like a 5-up save and that sucks. But this will give you the hitting power to peel them like a old piece of fruit. So there you go. No, Bruce, don't feel bad, okay? That's why I wasn't trying to say that. You got if you're playing Soul Blight, you got all the juice you need in the tank. You're good. All right, Artifacts of Power. Amulet of Chaos. Again, Dark Oath thing that it's that dumb end of turn pile in, do some damage thing on the bad D3. We keep writing this. I hate it every time it's written. Stop it. Get help. It's terrible.
Yeah, don't like it.
Yeah. Cool. Always bad. I will just blanket say every one of this ability. They've written it in 10 armies. I like it in 0 of them. It is never good. Okay.
Yeah.
The Varanite Shackle. Friendly non-warriors of chaos slaves to darkness units have a ward of 6 up while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. So all your Dark Oath people. Cool. Got it. Okay. Cool. So that's fine. And other things, like it's not just the Dark Oath. There's other funny things that will get that 6 up ward in there. It's a big army. It's a big tent party over in Slaves to Darkness. And then finally, the Head of the Unworthy. If a friendly Slaves to Darkness hero with any Dark Apotheosis points is destroyed, give this unit 8 Dark Apotheosis points. Yes, we got there. This is how you ascend.
Yeah, this is how you do it. In a similar manner to FEC, they're like, what if we gave you a way of doing this that didn't involve doing something that you basically can't do in the game? Well, you die for your master, and then the important guy gets huge. Perfect.
I love this so much because, like, I'm gonna
early second ed like corn pop stuff where you get your guy killed on purpose for little Johnny fun.
Exactly. I'm gonna pick like the Exalted Hero of Chaos, who's getting +2 attacks. He's going screaming forward, killing everything he can. When he doesn't get there, because that was what will happen, his other Exalted Hero of Chaos is going to be like, oh, I'm a Demon Prince now. Just ascend immediately. That was great. And then finally, with a very left turn, I love that we were like Dark Oath, Dark Oath, Dark Oath. I thought they would give us a Dark Oath rewrite with the scrolls. Like I thought we'd get 2 Dark Oath scrolls. And then when I
would get each of the foot hero Dark Oath people because it tend to have been 2 war scrolls or so, but instead we got Worse Abraxa. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, her rampage is cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's a good rampage.
It is a very good rampage. And you know, like she's not
is good. Like
she's not bad. I you know, she's 360 points. I think this is a reasonable attempt to make her better. Yeah, I don't know. She has a weird grab bag of abilities. I do love her mobility thing. Like that rampage is really good. And yes, that is true. Her like Champion of the Undivided is quite good with Dark Oath, right?
Yeah. Her run thing is kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's what it almost reminds me of is like a what was that Stormcast lady with wings? Great fun sculpt. Came in the starter box. Kind of anti-monster, but then also like reanimated annihilators around her for some reason.
Oh, Yndrasta, the Celestial Spear.
Lady this Abraxia is like that Lady Yndrasta, where the wheel looks good, the fighting looks good, and then just has a bunch of like random abilities that you probably can't use all of them, and it's just ends up being probably not great. Too many disparate stuff.
Yeah, she's kind of a grab. It's the classic grab bag of abilities, and you're not sure if any of them are really going to come into play, right? Like Mutative Spear, I really don't care about. Stop it. It's just like, stop this being a thing.
Once you fail to kill the enemy, it doesn't matter what their control score is, really.
I mean, worst nightmare for giants ever, but like just being good against Sons of Behemoth isn't a good reason to take the thing.
Yeah.
So
she big heals sometimes at the end of a turn. She's got a strong wheel. Like 14-10, 3 up, 5 up is sick.
It is.
And if you randomly have an anti-hero and a charge, like her attack profile looks gross. With Gorgonzola, the Accursed. Like 5 with Gabagool, the Accursed. So 5 attacks, 3s and 2s, 3, 4. Like, yeesh, okay. That's some Kragnos kind of attack profiles.
Oh yeah, I mean she really is like the Sons of Bahamut's worst nightmare. Like she just slays them. Like it's not great for them.
She
Yeah, yeah.
slaps them around a little bit, and then they don't die, and then their control score is 1.
Right.
So if you're Slaves to Darkness and you're sick of losing to giants, first of all, how? But also, here you go. Well, I know how. You're playing Dark Oath against Mega Gargants. Okay.
There you go. I think
Yeah,
she's
she can be
okay.
a chip there. She's cool.
Yeah, I think she's okay. I think we'll see some people use her and play around with some different configurations. I'm not going to write her off. I think she is I'm going to mark her slight upgrade over the old version. Actually, I'll call her just. I'll upgrade that to minor upgrade. There you go. There we go.
I think she's a little like she's different, but she's worse than the other one. The problem is the other one is like a synergy piece that wants you to take your most expensive great stuff anyway. And
Sure.
so there isn't really room for her in the other thing. So even though this one's a little worse, she's much more needed where she is here. And in that way, she ends up being maybe better than the other one realistically take-wise.
Yeah, the problem with her has always been not anything to do with her scroll as much as it has been to do with the fact that Bellicor exists in the same army as her.
Yeah.
Right.
And Varangard exist in the same army.
Yeah. So, but she's good.
She's going to be scary in 3K, though. 3K with her?
Oh,
hell yeah.
Ready to wreck.
Yeah.
I think we'll see some people take her. I know I've got my build. I'm ready to go. My champions of chaos. I have so many little exalted heroes. They're all going to go nuts. So get ready for Chaos Lords and exalted heroes a go-go.
Speaking of Hero Hammer, the last 3K tournament I went to with Andrew Yells, he was on Fire Slayers with all those heroes that don't count as leaders.
Yeah.
I want to say he ran like 13 singular Fire Slayer heroes plus what's his name? The guy who looks like a Fire Slayer but isn't for some reason.
Oh, Gotrek.
Some book. Yeah, plus Gotrek. So it was like 14 individual hero guys just spread out like kids are playing the parachute game in high school. Well, elementary school, but whatever. Maybe your high school is more advanced than mine. But it was hilarious. Every time he'd be like, "So how do you want to split attacks?" What do you mean? It's a 5-man unit. No, that's 5 units.
That's right.
Oh. Interesting.
Yes, it is Thorin's whole company. That's right. Yeah. So overall, I think the Slaves one's good. I think Abraxia is good, but a weird grab bag. But I think she'll have some play. So we'll see. All right. Boom. Lumineth Realm Lords. All right.
All right. Here's where I don't know what's going on. I played against a lot of Lumineth in 3rd edition, as you might expect. I played against a lot of 60-man double units of archers and Lumineth and Teclis and all of that.
Sure.
But I was playing Kragnos and monster trucks with 5-ups on my whole army, so it was actually quite nice. And I tended to destroy them. And only them. Lost to everyone else. Nowadays, I don't know what Lumineth is doing. And so I'm taking a cursory glance at this. It appears to be that they want infantry to be played.
This whole army has a lot of the same challenge. You got a lot of like 20 health max units, right? That are relatively expensive because they also have good capabilities like crit mortal and stuff like that, right? But the problem is that they're 1 health guys on a 4-up save. And if you don't get off your 5-up ward bubble, any incidental damage like monster trucks charging into you is nightmarish, right? Because your unit just is depleted. Any kind of like mortal damage hit like that is just a nightmare, right?
Yeah. During the charge phase, you're losing like 4 guys. Every singular saving throw you fail, you're losing 5 guys.
Yeah.
It's a rough one unless you get that. Let's get that 5-up bub.
And so they're trying to get the Venari thing working. Step 1 is give everybody the lieutenant ability from the last one, right? The honor guard thing of +2 inches to move. That's flawless commander. Which is fine. I like that we took it from an honor guard ability and just put it in a bunch of armies where they need to walk around. Yeah, good. It's infantry. This is who we want. now your wardens can move 8 or whatever, which is a perfectly respectable move distance. I do love the move creep of like you have to move 8 in this edition to be worth anything, basically.
Yeah,
it's fun.
it's
8 is the new
true.
6. 6 is the new 5.
The board shrunk, and then for some reason, while the board shrunk, 6 wasn't good enough anymore.
Yep.
But also, I mean, I play the game too. Kind of true. 6 is pretty short.
Yep, it is.
10 feels short when you're standing next to a fence and you don't have flying. Suddenly 10 becomes 3 with the upper downer stuff. So
yeah,
hey, all right.
G-Well, do you think they might keep some of these new rules into the next GHB or maybe integrate them into future battle tomes? Thank you for the super chat, G-Well. My answer is by next GHB, I assume you mean like 26, 27 or whatever.
27, 28. This is 25, 26 right now. So it's
26, 27 will be the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. This is the second half of 26. Yeah.
Right. Do you think they might keep some of these? I don't know, in honesty. Maybe they'll just do this kind of thing again. I hope they do. You asked if they're going to integrate it into future battle tomes. I don't know why they wouldn't. Like, they should. But honestly, I would like to see this stuff just get kind of bundled up and stick around. Like, I want more options. So I hope they don't take it away. So there you go. Then you got a once per battle.
My answer. That was going to be my answer as well. I don't see why they wouldn't. Right. They did the work writing them down. At worst, it's a big old beta test to see what people like and don't. And so the stuff that's good, just put it in the index or the next battle tome or whatever. Just fold it in.
Yep.
If people like it, why throw it away?
You've got a once per battle add 3 to casting roll thing, which is fine. It's fine. I don't like any once per battle thing. And honestly, you have other ways to get casting bonuses, so fine. And then, or rerolls or whatever, because you got your little floating mech armor island. And then you've got Martial Perfectionist. This is that thing that, to answer specifically the problem we just talked about. So, like, pick a visible enemy unit within 12 inches of this unit that is damaged or had any models slain this turn to be the target. Roll a die on a 3-up, add 1 to wound rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Lumineth Realm Lords infantry units that target that enemy unit for the rest of the turn. So, okay.
Is this an ogre rule? I'm getting some on a Tuesday vibes from this guy. Visible enemy unit within 12 is damaged or had models slain, then roll a die, combat phase on a 3-up on a hero. Then you add 1 to win rolls. For infantry.
Yes. I hate
for this turn on a Tuesday. Holy.
This should literally just be a thing the hero can do that just says like
1 to win rolls, holy 12, friendly.
Yep.
Ship it.
Done. And it would have been fine.
Out the door.
You're a crit mortal army. Who cares what your stupid wound roll is?
Yeah. You're fishing anyway.
So, like, complete whiff in my mind. It's the 2 inches thing. That's the good one. You have a new spell lore. You got the Beam of Haish,
you got which the Cassie is Beam.
Yes.
Which is funny.
The fun part about this one is it's unlimited. And did you catch the part where you add 1 to the casting value of this spell for each time it has been cast by a friendly wizard this turn? So you don't actually get to keep casting it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it starts also, on a 6, then the next guy's a 7, then the next guy's an 8.
Yeah.
And it's why? Why not just let it be unlimited if you wanted it to be unlimited? Okay.
Or make it not unlimited if you didn't want people to use it too much.
Right.
Anyway, it's not exactly Croaknado or anything, but we finally added X to this game. And I'm pleased. X, where X is equal to blah, we're there. Good.
Yep.
We did it.
Our journey into Magic the Gathering continues.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the alternative 4th edition beatdown fireball with X and Y in the rules paragraph.
Or XX.
Yeah.
You got to do it twice.
Well, Chalice of the Void, no big deal. I mean, they already do Nether Void or whatever it's called. So
exactly. This should just be.
It's funny that they're all unlimited. I think it's worse than all their other lores. So.
Agreed. Like, I hate that this thing works like it does. It should start on 5, not 6, because it starts off just doing D3, then D3 plus 1, then D3 plus 2. Like, I mean, okay, Sure. Why not? Then you've got an enemy thing that makes it so they can't use run abilities. And then if you keep piling it on, then they also get -1 to hit. Fine. I don't know how much either of those things are worth. It's like okay at best. And
Second
then
twice, nah, not for
right.
that.
And then finally your beacons of protection. And then this is the like this is the Stonehorn dumb ability. Like you just get to ignore the first damage point allocated to friendly non-monster Lumineth Realm Lord units each phase. Well, hot darn. Do I want to ignore 1 damage point or have a ward of 5 up? Man, these are tough decisions.
Hey, for that first damage, it's a 1-up ward.
That's
for
true.
The first point of damage.
That's a good point.
You know how you were saying before the +2 attacks trait? That's a Timmy trap.
Yeah.
Ignore the first point of damage or mortal or anything for each phase. That's a spike trap.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh, you're supposed to be playing in every phase. There's chip damage. Spike is like, he is like taken by a spirit, and he has to say the words, "This is better than you think it is." But it's trash. It's so
trash.
bad. And it might be better than you think it is, because I think it's maybe garbage trash, but it's just normal trash. You know what happens? You take 24 damage to your 20 damage unit instead of 25. And
that's right.
You go from totally dead to totally dead.
But with -1 damage.
Yeah.
Whereas with a ward of 5 up, you're alive. Like it's simple math.
I mean, maybe you're still dead, but you have a lot better chance.
That's right.
5 up is something like doubling your wounds or some other percent. I don't know.
Then we got 2 new scrolls. The Light of Eltharion and the Venari Bannerblade. I was very excited to see the Light of Eltharion here. He's 250, by the way. The Bannerblade guy is 130. So I like Light of Eltharion. I've thought he's been like okay, honestly. But here in this, he's 3 up, 4 up, ignoring all negative modifiers to hit rolls and wound rolls, and to the attacks characteristic of this unit's melee weapons. Great. Okay. Or characteristics. Sorry, not the attacks characteristic, just the characteristics. It's fine. So he's got, crit 2 hits, and Rend 3, damage 3 is no joke, and the other one's anti-hero +1 rend and anti-monster +1 rend, so that's fine. That's fun. Like, he's got a decent enough attack profile. And you can replace him. Like, what a crazy thing. You can, when you do a manifestation, right?
Yeah,
instead of summoning
the Green Knight of Eltharion.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Scar Bloodwraith of Eltharion, yeah.
Like, I legitimately like that ability. That's really cool. Like, you summon a manifestation, and instead of summoning whatever dumb thing you were going to summon, you're just like, nah, this dude's back.
Like, I think it's cool that you have to summon him. Instead of just like roll a die, he comes back or what. No, you're actually summoning him. That's a cool use of the summon effect. Like, it's neat.
Exactly. I agree with Chris H, by the way, who said model is nice and compact. It's a lot of power in a small footprint. Yes. I've always been a fan of like power per square inch. People who punch way above their weight on a tiny base are like generally really good. And I think he very much fits that. He's on such a small base for how hard he hits.
Yeah. And it says move 6, but it won't be move 6. It's at very least going to be 8 with Flawless Commander.
That's right.
But you also, you got spells and everything else. It is kind of funny looking at every iteration of Light of Eltharion. 3-up save, 4-up ward, sometimes ethereal attacks, crit 2 hits, anti-hero, anti-monsters, searing darts, comes back to life. Look at what they need to mimic a fraction of cavalry's power.
Absolutely. Yep. And then you got the Venari Bannerblade, which he's again trying to solve the defense problem, right? Because he just gives +1 to save for all your Venari infantry while they're contesting the same objective as him. So he takes your 4-up wardens and makes them a 3-up. Like, it's very straightforward.
Banner Chad, this guy is a man. He's like Encino Man. Like, if this guy existed in first edition, when the game was camping out on objectives, like straight +1 save rolls aura he'd be a king among men, this guy.
Absolutely.
As it stands, I think he's still like kind of nice. I don't know what their entire strat works for, but straight up Mystic Shield, no downside. As long as you're contesting with some boys, it's a good stat. It's good stats.
Yes, as FEC will tell you, that's quite a good ability, because they can just declare that for like all of their units or whatever on the thing, and it makes a difference. I think
start all right. It's a little dissynergist with their ethereal spell, but just don't do that one.
Sure. He's a little bit expensive for my taste still at 130, like at a 5 health, 3 up save, no ward. Like,
yeah, it's not like he's a wizard. He
right.
Just,
now he'll be a bonus hero, I assume, but still.
Yeah, sure. See what points you have left over. You know, be one of those.
I think I'd really dig him at like 110 is what is basically where it comes down to. But that being said, he's good. He's good. Lumineth, though, 2 good war scrolls, 1 good heroic trait, end of list. So
yeah.
So kind of a
yeah. Maybe they didn't need that much, and that's why this is a little. I'm not sure.
Sure. I mean, they were. They're back and forth all over the place. They've been everything in this edition from like top of the heap to hardcore on the struggle bus to just like they're just a very weird army. All right, well, it's time. We got there. It had to come to pass.
Well, this is where I let you take the stage on this one.
Slaanesh, don't worry. I think yours is like literally coming up next, right? Or maybe 2 from here. I don't know. I don't remember if it's exactly next or almost next, but we will trade.
We'll trade tag team.
That's right. So we got 2 new battle formations. Pretenders, love it. This is an extra heroic trait for your Keeper of Secrets. That's what this is. This turns your Keeper of Secrets into a super keeper because they can have 2 heroic traits now and 1 artifact. That's what you're going to do here. This is about souping up a mega keeper. I'm all about it. You get to choose it in the deployment phase. Not that it matters. You're always going to choose the same stupid thing realistically. So like choosing it then doesn't actually matter. You don't have enough choices for that to actually be like reactive in some way, but it's cute. Fine. And then you have Ecstatic Revelers, which is add 1 to rend characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Sybarite infantry while they are wholly outside friendly territory, which is an amazing ability. Lots of good things you want to put that on. The question becomes, what do the maps look like? How many of them are split completely half and half? Whereas how many of them are like 11 to 11 or some variant of therein? This ability, its quality is completely dependent upon what the new battle plans look like. Because the more maps are just split down the middle, where it's like, this is your territory and that's theirs, the harder that is to turn on, right? The more they're just like, your deployment is your entire territory and it's 11 inches, and then there's a 22-inch DMZ, and then theirs. Beautiful. This thing is worth its weight in gold, right? Because you walk forward an inch and you're like, swing, sharpened blades, let's go, right? All the objectives are where I want to be fighting. Like, it changes the game. So at any rate, TBD on that, but has a lot of potential. I'll be taking the first one, though, because all I do is take Keepers of Secrets and try to make them good when the game designers are clearly telling me that I shouldn't do that. Then you've got 3 new heroic traits. Celebrity Warlord, pick a friendly, non-hero, blah, 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 blah. It's a way to get a replacement unit for a point to match what you can do with the demon side of it. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parody, I guess.
Sure.
I like the name. It reminds me of the little hirelings you could have in D&D if you had high enough charisma back in the day. Celebrity Warlord.
Oh God, yes. You talking about like are you talking during 3rd edition time?
Yeah.
When you could have your what was it called? Cohort or something? I don't know.
It wasn't hirelings, it wasn't cohorts, it was something.
Yeah. But yes, that was always
series of feats you could take typically as a bard or like some high charisma, and then just followers would just like show up.
Yeah, it was great.
And you got a bunch of NPCs.
I played a necromancer in 3rd edition at one point, like regular 3X. That I was like, okay, this character, the DM was like, we're going to do a very high level game. Like it'll start at 1 and I'm going to run you to 30. I was like, okay, great.
Ooh.
Let's do this.
All right.
And so I was like, so I built a character that intentionally didn't come together until 15th level. Like that was when the character turned on.
Oh no. Yeah. I mean, we got to get through the campaign, go to end game. Right. The build doesn't unlock until then. Yeah.
So by 15th level, I had my entire enemy. I had an entire enemy undead, or sorry, an entire undead party. Like I had 2 fighters, 2 rogues, 2 wizards, and a cleric following me around at all points in time. And like on my initiative, I would just activate the entire force. Like I had my own team, and I learned how to get through them really fast. But at any rate,
That's
that was
fun. You
very
get to
fun.
make more characters. That's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a bard that, according to some feed, that worked off of like a charisma table. For some reason, there was a combination that you could get a hireling that was like 1 level higher than you, even for CR.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so you'd make them a bard and have them take that feat, and then they could get a hireling of 1 level higher, and
Yep.
just turtles all the way up, as it were.
Turtles all the way up. Good stuff. All right.
Damn,
Master
3.5 was so stupidly awesome.
It was the best of times and the worst of times. Like in retrospect, I really hate 3rd edition, and I was glad to see it die, although I hated 4th edition even more if that's possible. But but God, did I also have a tremendous amount of fun in that edition. How can something be so true at both at the same time, right? It just is. Master of Temptation. You can only use this ability if your opponent has any temptation dice. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the target. For the rest of the turn, while your opponent has not used any of their temptation dice to replace a roll for the target this turn, the target can only use core abilities. Okay. This is pretty strong. This is actually like a pretty strong ability.
I wasn't sure about this one because I don't play the army. In my head,
so I
like,
always hand out three dice. I'm not gonna.
I know what you do. You've said what you do.
And I handed out 3 dice even when that was suicide, religiously. Like you will make 12-inch counter charges against me automatically.
You know? You get to select your difficulty at the start of the game. Some people choose Nightmare.
That's correct. Do you know how good I am at mapping counter charges because of that training period? Right? Like I played the floor is lava.
12.6, 12.6.
Right. For so long. At any rate, this is really strong because I always give people 3 dice. 18 inches is like a decently generous range for you to pick because you can line it up to make sure in their hero phase you've got it. So unless they have a teleport where they can move out like during the hero phase and get out of that space, you really can lock them down to where like the only thing like there are some units this is pretty crippling against. I will say this is probably best against like enemy type heroes that want to be doing a lot of goofball stuff, have like really good suite of abilities against just like raw butt kicker units. Like take like a Varangard or something. They don't care about this at all. This does nothing, right? Like, yeah, what you did, you shut off their reroll a charge if they fail the charge, right? But
you shut off their double pile-in, but they'll kill you in 1 pile-in anyway.
Well, no, you didn't shut off their double pile-in. That's the trick. Because what they're going to do is at some point in the first fight, or at some point, on the charge, they'll just use the dice.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind.
Right, so now they've used the dice to unlock it for then during the because then they go to combat. Now they can use non-core abilities again. So they'll just like the smart thing to do with those units is just like, okay, on the charge, I'll use 2 of these dice to set my charge to whatever roll. If I don't get a 1 or 2, I still get a 7 or 8 inch charge. Realistically, on turn, that probably still makes it. Like whether or not 7 or 8 is going to make it because that's sort of your worst case. And then suddenly you're free. It's more like goofball heroes that want to do a lot of stuff earlier in the turn. It's decent against. I still wouldn't take it. I'll say that. As much as I've talked it up, I wouldn't take it. I would take the other 2, like with the Pretender's ability, I would just take the other 2 out of the main book, which is like, it's no one's within 6 inches of you, you're +1 to hit and wound, and strike first on an 8-up. Like, this is everywhere I want to be with my keeper, right? I ain't trying to, I'm trying to just be on 2s and 2s here and murder you. So.
Unsurprisingly, it's kind of like Seraphon wanting to play big dinos. It's like, oh, really? The Slaanesh player just wants to play the martial perfection of the most killer lawnmower that's ever been. Yeah, you just want to build the most beautiful killer lawnmower ever.
Right. I don't think that's weird that I would like my big greater demon main centerpiece monster that costs more than 400 points actually do damage.
Be good. What a weirdo.
Yeah. What's up with this guy? And then the need for perfection. This is, I didn't get to watch you cover this on stream. So I am curious as to your response to this, because this is one of the weirdest written abilities. Okay. The first time each turn that an unmodified charge roll, casting roll, unbinding roll, or banishment roll for a friendly non-euphoric unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit is 5 or less, that unit has the euphoric keyword for the rest of the turn. Okay. So euphoric gives you crit 2 hits and
And then the spell gives you
and run and
crit
charge.
mortal.
Correct.
If you
We're
have
already
crit 2 hits.
What's that? Yes. If you have crit 2 hits, that's right. Turns your crit 2 hits into crit mortals. And run and charge. Now, the problem with this is, okay, that you make your euphoric choice at the start of the battle round, which is a terrible timing that you have to make that choice. Okay. I hate when you make your euphoric choice. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that means is that we've already passed that by. So I've already had to allocate, like, before I know anything, I have to make my choices. Right?
Yeah.
And that just puts a giant highlighter. Like if the enemy has the first turn, that just puts like a giant flag on your unit saying charge in and kill this unit. So they don't get to get any benefit out of this.
Yeah, taunting elf right here. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So yeah, it's just casting lure directly on that unit. So, and they ain't no basilisk. I'll tell you that much for sure. So the reality is there's not a lot of actual units that can make casting, unbinding, or banishment rolls, right? That's basically going to be your
Typically
heroes. And you probably only have 2 casters in the army, generally, in most constructions.
And you're not getting into combat with
anything except
heroes,
the keeper.
probably, unless it's a keeper.
Yes, or like
and if
Celeste.
It's a keeper, then it's probably part of your main strategy for that turn, and so you're not going to leave it up to fate.
Right.
And even then, you only really have a chance in your hero phase with the casting roll. Because you need, in my head, I'm like, well, I don't play this army, but I'm thinking like, okay, you want to be euphoric so that you can cast the spell to get crit mortals.
Yep.
And only one of these things happens by the time you could be casting that spell in the hero phase. Because if you fail your charge roll, it's too late. Unbinding roll, banishment roll, kind of in your opponent's hands, who knows? They do their things after you anyway. Right?
Yep.
And so what spell are you casting? You have to be a 2 caster. Maybe you choose some other caster to do it. But it's this unit. So it would have to be the one with the passive. I think that spell is unlimited. So there is that.
It is, yes.
You cast that spell and then you... But then you fail it on only a 5 or less. You could fail it by a high enough amount so that it doesn't qualify for this thing. It's possible with a charge roll or whatever. This whole thing feels like, and it reads terribly, this ability.
So badly. I had to read it like 7 times to figure out what the hell it was even doing.
What? And I don't play the army, but it reminded me of that old monster trait where charge rolls below 7 are considered 7, but not for succeeding at charge rolls, only for rolling the bonus damage dice. And then you're like, well, okay, well, how much extra damage dice is it? It's like 2 extra d6. So it's like all of this at the end of the day for +1 mortal on a charge that you failed, but not failed enough to fail, because then it doesn't do anything, and not succeed, because then it doesn't do anything, and not succeed by 7, and then it doesn't do anything. It's only like this one, and then it just, at the end of the day, it's like 3 outcomes and an entire paragraph to essentially never do anything.
Yes, which is what this is too. This is crap. Yeah. It's complete crap. Your best case scenario, by the by, is your non-euphoric units who happen to be wholly within 12 of this guy when they make a charge and are charging 3 inches from the enemy, roll a 5 to get in, and so get to trip this bonus even though they succeeded. That's your best case, and it's garbo.
Yeah. So you fail a charge. Oh, you rolled a 4. Okay. So you were euphoric, but you still failed the charge roll.
Because exactly, if you fail the charge roll, you're just sitting there euphoric until the end of the turn.
And since it's unmodified, it means you had to have taken it.
Yep.
And so you're standing in an open field and your pants fall down, but now you're euphoric.
Right.
And okay, maybe that makes sense for Slaanesh, but still, yeah, just a nonsense.
It's
Nonsense
terrible,
card.
and I hate it, and get out of here. Okay, but then we got the 2 War Scrolls. Celesk the Vengeful Allegiance, one of my favorite heroes. They are awesome. And look, we don't get enough romance in Age of Sigmar. And this is one of the few honest, like, good romantic stories. They care for each other. And I've always liked Celesk. I think the model's absolutely gorgeous. So, any rate, 4 up, 5 up, 8, 9, 4. Very unusual wheel, but fine. Decent enough attacks, 4 on 3, 3, 2, 3, and 6 on 2, 4, 1, 2. Very
2, 4, 1,
hilarious.
2, also a strange profile.
It is, yeah.
3, 3, too boring.
Too boring. 2, 4. Very
that
accurate with that whip, but hard to get through. And you get, again, this answers, I talked about this problem with Doc. Slaanesh has the same problem. You charge him with 2 units. 2 units are made of paper. First one attacks, does some damage. Second one gets splatted against a wall before they ever activate. Cool. And I've said, by the way, how come Lumineth gets the I get to activate 2 units thing? Slaanesh is the speed kills army. That's like our whole thing, which we forgot about going into this edition, apparently. But like, we're supposed to be the fast, precise army. And so we got it back. Here you go.
That's what I said when I went over this with chat. I'm like, oh, as long as you intermingle your keyword bingo in a weird way in this army, you get lightning reflexes from Lumineth.
That's right. And it's honestly not that
Holy
hard.
Within 18 is a very generous Holy Within.
Yep. So I did get to play with this here this last weekend, and it was very fun. It worked exactly how I think it does. The problem with Celesk is Celesk died because I tried to bring Celesk into combat, and even a 4 up, 5 up, 9 health hero just gets like splatted against the wall pretty simply. So you got to be a little careful with Celesk themselves. But the actual ability was great. Like this thing worked exactly how I wanted it to. I didn't find it too hard to like. I generally was using both of these types of units in the army. Like I had a unit of Twin Souls and like a unit of Daemonettes or a unit of Seekers or something like that. So I always had like actually multiple options to activate. So yeah, it was fine. Great ability. Thumbs up. Yay, lightning reflexes. And I mean, you can take this. By the way, it isn't just once. Like you can keep doing it if you keep having pairs to activate, which is also cool. So that's nice.
When players are alternating, and you keep alternating.
That's right. Works really great with the Pretender Keeper if you can get the 8 charge, because then they strike first, and then you go to pick, and you fight with 2, right? So now you're 3 units deep before they get to activate, which is pretty cool. That's pretty nice, because that's probably all of your units that are fighting, realistically. Like, how many things did you bring into combat?
Yeah.
And then, so your new spell is Wandering Minds, where you get to pick, again, the same thing. You get to pick 1 unit of each type, Sybarite and Demon. The demons go to ward 5 up, and the Sybarites subtract 1 from ward rolls. That's fine. I like both of these. It's good.
Yeah.
So
well, these abilities are good, and this spell could have been bad anyway, but it's not, because it says up to, and then we're safe.
It also says up to without a range.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just
range.
them over there and those guys over there. So like, do they exist on the board in line of sight? Then got them. So I like this a lot. Ward of 5 up is cool. And yeah, it's great.
I opined what non-hero Hedonite of Slaanesh demon infantry. Just say Daemonette.
Just say Daemonette, yes.
Just say Daemonette.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But hey, all right.
Nice try.
And then there's this other thing that requires her to like physically attack a wizard in melee combat. I didn't even read this ability.
Yeah, ignore this. This is Ipsum Lorem text. It's cute.
Whatever.
Like, if it ever comes up, what a fun little bonus. But it doesn't matter. They're worth it with the first 2 abilities, honestly. Celeste gets 230 points. They have a good regiment in the current build out. Assumingly, they'll keep their good regiment options going into the June Battle Scroll. So it's cool. Then the Slangor Fiendbloods, who are 150 points and are a really tough one to crack. So this is, 3 health on a 5 up save and no ward. They are made of paper. Let's be real here, right? But they make.
Look at these guys, and I see Gorgers.
Yeah.
But in a 3 instead of a 5.
I was gonna say your little Icefall Yetis or whatever, because they come in packs of 3, but nonetheless.
Well, the Gorgers have the ambush is the thing.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Sure.
And so it's just like a randomly high, random and potentially high damage paper armor guys with an ambush.
Yes. The last part, which is the once per phase army reaction, opponent declared a command for a unit within 12 inches of this unit. Immediately after that command or ability it was a reaction to has been resolved, this unit can move 3 inches. It can move through combat ranges of enemy units and can end this move in combat.
I'm trying to move back.
Yeah, agreed, but this is like a really strong ability. This is like crazy strong. It moves them all over the place, right? Because if anytime a unit catches a command, they can just scoot 3 inches near if it's near them, right? And I'm pretty sure the way this is sequenced, you can, when your opponent makes their attacks and uses all-out attack, you can literally just scoot back 3 inches.
Yeah. And so if they were not base to base, they've already piled in.
Right. Correct.
And who knows what kind of snake that you're, a lot of times you'll still get hit. Every once in a while, you might actually be able to, in response to all-out attack, suddenly 3 of your guys can no longer reach.
Yeah. And I mean, basically that means nobody ever uses all-out attack against them, which is like, okay, fine. That's still worth something, right?
Good.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think they're just going to scoot like crazy. Like,
oh, deep strikes are bad because they'll just deploy so that you can't. And I'm like, well, good. What if they were a castle army that wanted to be in a thing? I like whatever outcome they do. If they prep against it, all right, you deployed poorly in the way that you didn't want to. And if they don't, cool, I get a deep strike. Win-win.
Yep. Oh, that's true. They already have assigned their attacks, so it wouldn't matter. That's true. That is after attack allocation. Yeah, it's a good point.
Oh, it's in reaction to, so they have done that.
Yep. Either way, I still think it's good. I still think it's going to scoot around a lot. I think they're like a
Never
B.
mind, trash.
That's fine. I think they're like a B, but I think Celeste is like an A. I love Celeste. I think Celeste is really, really solid. Like really
Celeste good. Fiendbloods, I'm not sure. That's like what I thought.
And then you have like one new heroic trait if you really wanted to play with the Sybarite side, and you have 2 really good battle formations, which is nice. And so I'm still giving them a B because they do have a lot of potential attacks. Go ahead, you can get back up in your chair. Get back up there.
Look what happened. You guys didn't click, and
they didn't click like.
Dog,
there you go. She's back. Woke. Okay, you got to hit like because the dog came back. There you go. Okay, this is my dog. She's here with me because my wife is gone right now with her dog. All right. At any rate, so yeah, overall, good.
At first, I didn't know what I'm like. Yes, we know that is your. Yeah, it's in your house.
I meant like yes, this dog is attached to me versus like the other dog is attached to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Dogs have like a primary person and a bonus human usually. So, all right, there it is. Look who's up now. Who's talking? Look who's talking now. Why?
2.
That's right. Ogres.
Speaking
take it
of
away.
movies that AI would have made. All right. We got Ogremont tribes.
That's right.
So what are we focusing on here? Well, it's not the Beastclaw side because that's the better side right now. Everything can be improved, obviously, but you flip giant coins for game because you do entirely too much damage in the charge phase. And the monsters are too cheap, so you just spam them. So they need to help the Gutbuster side, which is realistic. When people asked me leading up to this, they're like, oh, what War Scrolls do you think they should help out? I said, Leadbelcher for sure, and then maybe Tyrant. I think the Gutbuster side needs the update, to be honest. And they agreed. They agreed so thoroughly that we didn't even get monster traits, which was the one thing I was certain we would do. But we got big names instead. Big names are funny. Used to be a Tyrant thing. Now it's just whoever. And you can take them with Beast Claw. So, hey, look at that. We got a accidental value. It's free real estate. Big names are not traits. They're not artifacts. Free value. Good. So anyway, as far as sub-factions are concerned, Gutbusters really only had one choice, and it was +1 the cast. That's their sub-faction. So +1 the cast for their wizards. Their spells are actually kind of nice. Their butchers are actually kind of nice. Foot wizards. You can build an army around them, which is good. So that's what we fight against. I'm going to talk about Greedy Eaters first, because that one's easy. It's trash. Next, Fixated on Feeding. Pick a friendly Ogre infantry unit that is not in combat to be the target. Also, Ogre infantry unit. No Stonehorns scooting around. Roll a die. This is once per turn army. Enemy charge phase, not yours. Okay. Roll a die, 3 up. Target can move a number of inches equal to the roll. So either nothing happens, move 3, 4, 5, 6. It can move through the combat ranges of enemy units and can end the move in combat. Probably won't, I'm going to be honest. If it does so, the target has charged. Oh, interesting. Core move charge, huh? So it doesn't stack with the redeploy, but you can use it in addition to redeploy. It's just got to target a different guy. If you have charged, and this thing has a charge keyword, then mayhap you're doing impact hits with this. I don't think anybody's getting quite close enough for this thing to actually like successfully countercharge something. Remember, you do your enemy charge, you do your charge phase things after your opponent, so they're done with all their charges by the time this. But what I like about this thing, so you have charged. What do you get to do in the combat phase if you have charged, even if you're in an open field? You get to pile in. And so this isn't move 3, 4, 5, or 6. This is move 6, 7, 8, 9. I think this is like another weirdo redeploy for random guy targeted anywhere to just scoot in your opponent's charge phase at the end of it. It just go places. Actually zooming.
It can only do that pile in if it's ended in combat, because it only counts as charged if it ends in combat. That's the only problem.
Target is charged? Does that not work?
Yeah, it says it can move through the combat ranges of enemy units and can end that move in combat.
Oh, if it does so, as in end in combat, not if it does so, it does the ability. Oh, okay.
Right.
Trash. No, I'm kidding. It's actually still kind of nice.
Yeah.
To move 3, 4, 5, or 6 inches.
Off turn is great.
In addition to being able to redeploy somewhere else. Is it
because realistically what it does is it makes your opponent take bad charges and like create bubbles around, like they won't be able to get exactly where they want. They, you know, you can like hold them off objectives. You can move on to objectives. Like it's actually quite versatile as an ability.
Mm-hmm. And it means that if you're in the business of redeploying, which I don't know if you are, if you like that or not, a lot of good players say, and now I will waste my command point, and then they'll roll a 1, and then nothing happens, and you move on. But this is free. I just like it. You're setting up stuff for your next turn. Free movement off turn is good, even if you have to roll for it. And the infantry would like that. They need, the whole point with Gutbusters is that they have like no delivery method, and then they gave them run and charge. And so now you have run and charge bubbles on your turn. You could redeploy, and then you have this like free redeploy thing. Is it better than +1 to cast? Maybe actually. It might actually be. It's an actual option. Unlike post-NATO warfare, which is not. And then we get to big names. The Guts Lugger. +1 hit rolls for this unit's combat attacks if it did not charge in the same turn. I actually don't know who this is for.
Yeah, I don't know either. Hold on. Let me ask Mini-Arcs, or answer Mini-Arcs. Sure. Mini-Arcs, yes, you are correct. If you've charged, you can always pile in. But the reason I said you have to be in combat for this ability is because that if it does so, says you only count as having charged if you end the move in combat. Hence, in this case, it is retying the I can pile in because you don't count as having charged if you didn't end in combat.
Yeah, it's not core rules ability. It's this particular one says you've only charged if you end in combat. And I was thinking of it. I got carried away with how trying to find a silver lining on the update.
Right.
But it's still, I think it's still takeable, actually.
Yeah, it's good.
Turn movement's good. Mage Swallowers, subtract 1 from ward rolls for enemy units while they're just within 6 of this unit. Hey, that sounds great on a Frost Lord.
Really good.
Your 1 Frost Lord is even more of a killer. You'll love to see it. And it's free, because it's just a big name. Again, not really something for Gutbusters. Maybe on your Butcher, who's going to be like really close to that unit that he's trying to buff, you could probably take it. And then there's the, I can't say it on Christian.
You're gonna get demonetized, yeah.
The Mega Gobbler. Pick one of the following keywords. All right, one of these. The rest of the battle, each time any damage points are allocated to an enemy unit with that keyword by this unit's combat attacks. And it's bad. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's melee weapons. The effect is cumulative. It's not how the game works. Castle-like Keep, I believe, had a similar fun...
It's a classic
it's
RPG
a fun
Timmy
thing
trap.
to level up.
Yeah.
Like, leveling up seems fun, but actually what it is finish drawing the owl, and then the owl gets a hat. But the whole point is that you want to, like, draw the owl in the first place. So, like,
yes.
you've already gotten to combat, didn't get countercharged, didn't get this, didn't get that. You made it there. You entered the combat. You passed your charge. You rolled well. You killed the enemy. You did it. You won, right? That's it. You want stuff that helps you do all that stuff I just said.
Right.
Not that rewards you after you do all that stuff I just said.
Yes. This is it's a hat on a hat.
Like this or bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Win more, in other words.
Yes.
But not even win more. It's like win afterwards. You won the lottery, and then somebody gives you a trophy like after that.
Yeah, there's like a bank error in your favor for another $50, and you're like, yay!
Lottery. Here's a bowling ball with your name drummeled into it. And then we get 1 war scroll, the Iron Blaster.
Oh, you say that, but I came prepared. I did watch you do your ogre review. I am prepared to defend the Gnoblar scrap launcher, but continue.
Sure. I have a funny anecdote about how bad it is, which is 60% a bit. All right. Well, let's just talk about it. Gnoblar scrap launcher. This thing isn't a cool cannon. It's got Gnoblars on it instead of ogres. Disgusting. And it comes in the same kit, so you have to build this instead of that.
True. All true.
Nobody wants to play with this thing, but
you can buy the old metal scrap launcher kit, because that was just a scrap launcher if you want.
Oh yeah, you could do it. Scrap lobber. When I decided to stop worrying and lobbed the scrap.
Mm-hmm.
Crit 2 hits, 18, 12 attacks, 4s and 2s, 1/1. Okay, weird.
Love it.
But hey, all right. 18 is long enough to, like, you'll manage to hit something. Once per turn, army, any shooting phase. Any. Notice any here. That's like why this thing is even something. This is one of those debuff artillery things that they did. They tried it with OBR a little bit here and there. One of their ideas was like, okay, we can't make artillery too good, because then it's good, and we can't have that. So what if we make it debuff instead? And this was one of their cycles of them trying stuff. And so this one is, let's just read the debuff. Halve the target's move characteristic until the start of your next turn. In addition, until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for the target, minimum of 1. Now, when we just read the debuff part of this, that's crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
That's like their most expensive unit loses the game kind of good. Have movement characteristic and your D6 charging. That's nuts. How do you get there, though? Well, you make 12 attacks on 4s and 2s, 1 rend, 1 damage. All right. So if they have good armor, no, you won't. But if they have bad armor, you might do a damage with this thing. And then you get to roll a die, and that has to equal or exceed their save characteristic. So if their armor is bad enough for them to take damage from this, you're not going to roll above their save characteristic, so it won't work. But if their armor is good enough for you to roll above their save characteristic, then they would have passed all their saves from the attack, so it won't work. So what I'm saying is, it probably won't work.
All right.
But it randomly will work, and when it does work, they lose the game.
Okay, let me defend this thing. Here we go. You ready?
Hitting on 5s with a hell.
Yeah, so
shot.
This thing's 150 points. I would take this thing all the time if I was running ogres, and let me explain why. Because this is actually like the cavalry killer, okay? Which is the thing that you hate the most as ogres in general. Cavalry, not only are they a terror to the entire game, but they're truly a terror to ogres, because they match you move for move. Like, they can keep up with your movement, and they hit way harder than any of your, like, all heavy cavalry enforced units hit way harder than like your Beast Claw monster trucks, right? That's the problem.
Yeah.
They're often the same points or slightly more, but they hit, or less sometimes. Like 10 Baronites just come screaming in and just explodes any given monster truck like it isn't even, like it's a pinata full of candy.
Yeah, well, I take 1 less, though, from that, so.
It's a good point.
I got that going for me.
Got that going for you. Now let's fire this thing at a 3-up save cav unit. Because right, like I'm gonna move. Like this has a healthy range because it's got a 9-inch move. That's not small.
Yeah.
Right. So this thing's got
And
a
you can
27-inch
just
threat
drive this
range.
thing. You could just drive this thing into who cares. I'm gonna hit it.
Right. So I can
9
drive
plus
like I
18.
can pull up like right to the edge, right, of
Mhm.
18 inches, you know, whatever. Or what, like if they want to redeploy away from me, great. I don't care. Who cares? You know, pull up into 2 units range, whatever. I generally don't care if people redeploy out of the range of my shooting. I'm like, if you feel like that's worth wasting a command point, I am so fine with it. That was completely worth it to me. At any rate, so it makes 12 attacks with crit 2 hits, hitting on 4s. So it hits with 8 attacks. Okay. Like that's just the math on that. It wounds on 2s. So we'll use the pessimistic side of the math and say I wound with 6 of them. Okay. They have a 3-up save, so that means 2. Or sorry, that means 3 get through because the Rend one. Because they're not gonna, again, if you want an all-out defense against my Gnoblar scrap
You've
launcher,
already won. Yeah.
I've already won this game because you're an idiot. Okay. So like that's not happening. So 3 damage gets through. So like assuming no ward, I killed 1 pony. Okay. Out of whatever the unit is. Right. Then I'm gonna roll that die. And now I'm going for a standard 3-up. Okay. Which is like that's the game now.
That's
AOS 4 is called 3-up
Mhm.
the game. Right. Roll a 3-up to have fun. AOS 4.0, roll a 3-up to have any fun. So I have to roll the 3-up. And if I do, that cav unit that was probably moving 10 or 12 in most cases, right, now moves 5 or 6. And realistically is not getting anywhere. Okay. Like they are now in the lurch because we talked about 5 or 6 and how much it sucks earlier. Right. I can just, like the rest of my move is going to easily get around that. Bonus, a third of the time, I really hose them, right? Like they are dead in the water, doing nothing for a whole turn. I time walk them, right? This is on a 5-up, you time walk their best unit. Okay. I will happily pay 150 points to like put some range damage on a pony unit, probably diminish their ability to get anywhere and do anything, and a third of the time walk them out of complete inactivity, right? While I go smash this side of the army. Completely worth it to me. I think that kind of utility is actually really, really good. There you go. That's my argument. That's my defensive scrap launcher.
I have 2 explanations for the Gnoblar scrap launcher, and the first one is the bit one, as I said before, and that's the brain talking. And now the gut is talking.
Sure.
Yeah, it probably won't work. But 9 plus 18 is a lot of range. And just roll good one time. Like, just roll good one time with 150 points. And their most expensive unit might lose the game. What else are you going to spend 150 points on?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll spend 150 points to, like, potentially win the game on one roll.
4.5 out of 6 gluttons that you can't even spend that little points.
Right.
Or are you going to play some... Gorgers for like 230 to flip a coin anyway at 9 inches?
Right.
This is about the same. Actually, it's slightly, might even be slightly better of a chance. My hatred for Gnoblars is supreme, however. So
I understand.
Anyway, and then there's the Iron Blaster, which is much cheaper now. I haven't looked at the points. I think it's 170.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went down 60 and they made it better, and people are looking at it and they're like, maybe I take it.
It's a big damage cannon that can be on
18 inches, 3 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2/5. Crit 2 hits maybe with 3 attacks.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Once every 2 shots, you get an extra hit. Like, that's fine.
Just get lucky. And also, since it's a once per turn ability on this, taking more than 1 Iron Blaster is not really worth it. Same with the once per turn on this Gnoblar. They don't want you playing more than 1 of these. They're just like,
yeah, don't have too much fun. Guys, come on, calm down.
You know what? Take 1 of each, Baskin Robbins style. Take 1 of each, mix them together. Get yourself 1 Frost Lord, and then fill everything else up with Iron Guts or Gluttons or something. It'll be fine. It has melee weapons. You don't care.
Right. It does not have shoot in combat for reasons I cannot fathom.
And They have crazy reach. Like they move. You're looking at the 18 on the range, and you're like, yeah, okay, 18. It's a far cry from the 24 last edition. Am I right? They move 9.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they might die if you do that, but if you want to reach out and touch somebody, 9 plus 18 is actually kind of sick.
So let me say this, Whoa. Here's my here's my example. So I almost always take a Plague Claw Catapult in my army, in my Skaven army. Mm-hmm. As just like a standalone thing. I don't have any other Pestilence things. It's like a 120 point launcher, right? It is cheaper, admittedly, but it's a 24-inch range with a 3-inch move. So it's actually the exact same threat range, right? Mm. Like mathematically no different, except I can't, whatever, you get it, right? It's 27 to 27. It makes 2 attacks on 3s and 2s. Rend 1, Rend 2 against infantry. This is anti-infantry plus 1 Rend. D6 damage. Okay, so totally wild, swingy damage, right?
Flip coins.
Just flip coins. And it has a chance to make them basically strike last. Okay. I love this thing. I use it all the time. It lets me down half the time, but I'm like, whatever. It's a stupid 120 point.
It's something for your opponent to worry about.
Right.
As well. It's another one of those things where it's just like, oh, this guy could just shoot me with this stupid crap.
Yep, watching them clench when I explain the D6 damage, I'm like,
and your
hits twice,
like, he's going to roll the 5
twice.
up. I know it, that son of a bitch,
Yeah.
Like, he's going to roll that 5 up. Yeah, I'm praying. I'm like praying for this upcoming GHB season to finally bury, cover in dirt and sod with a daisy. The take 2 fast units, put them on the edge, move forward, and then forget about them every single game.
Yeah.
If that's finally gone, so I don't have to do that, I have exactly enough points to take this stuff for free.
Yep.
It's like, oh, those 70-point Frost Wolves that didn't do anything. Yeah, get out of here. Take 2 units that can just shoot something and do funny things. I consider 5 damage a pop funny things, and also target unit gets like 35% of a Be'lakor if I roll crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
To be kind of funny.
Absolutely. I agree.
I mean, what was I going to do? Take another like Stonehorn Beast Rider? Nah.
I'd rather I would like to take the thing that could sometimes make me win. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. So
well, you can't win if you don't play.
That's right. It's all about shots on goal.
You got to pull the wheel.
That's right. So overall, I thought the Ogre one was like, it's not bad.
It wasn't crazy. It wasn't crazy disappointing.
Yeah, agreed.
They threw me a curveball with the big name thing, but it's the exact same bonus I would have got anyway. They just called it something different.
Yep.
Like this.
Yeah, you got better than monster traits because yours can go on the monsters or the regular foot heroes. Yeah. Like great.
It could have said mount traits, and then all these abilities are written the same.
Right.
It's just like, oh no, Gutbusters can use them too. And it's a funnier name. Big names, funnier than mount traits.
Agreed.
Fixated on feeding, very interesting ability. Might actually take it. Can't take it for Beast Claw, but for Gutbusters. And then 2 funny things that are unreliable but have super reach, and it's a trick. It's a trick in the army that never has tricks. You just walk forward and Rochambeau, and now you have a trick. Interesting. Yeah,
tricks are good.
The Ogre update could have been way worse. I didn't even use the Terminator clip.
That's right.
So, how's that one?
All right, let's keep going. Maggotkin of Nurgle. All right.
Speaking of damage.
Okay. So
they decided that this army's problem was damage.
Yes.
And they weren't really wrong.
I agree.
Yeah. They were right. And also fun. I'm going to be right back.
You go for it. Go for it. We got 3 new heroic traits. Living Plague lets you once per battle, which is like ridiculous, automatically give an enemy unit the diseased keyword. I hate that it's once per battle. It should just be once per turn, but okay. Then you've got Unctuous Preacher. If this is not a priest, they get priest 1. If they're already a priest, add 1 to the chanting rolls. That's a good one. That's a real good one. And then you got Corpulent Avalanche. If this unit charges this turn, pick a visible enemy unit within 1 inch of it to be the target. Roll a number of dice equal to this unit's move characteristic. For each 3+, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. If any damage points were allocated to the target by this ability, this unit can move 2 to 3 inches. It can move through the combat ranges of enemy units, but it must end that move in combat with the units it was already in combat with at the start of the move. That's really good. Like you're rolling for its move characteristic, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good on your big fat fly lord. So that would be cool. That's pretty cool. Whatever his name is, I don't remember their names, but you know, fat fly guy, the guy who leads the blight lords around. Let's get that guy back in here. So solid. I think either Unctuous Preacher or Corpulent Avalanche is good. That is funny. Yes, you're right. Assistant Ref, I forgot you can take it on the Nurgle Demon Prince because they can be brought into the army. So that's actually pretty fun on a 12-inch move. Yeah, all right. I mean, that's a lot of mortals. Why not? Yeah, but yeah. I was just thinking within the Nurgle space. But yes, you can take the Demon Prince. I always forget about that. I always forget about that sneaky Demon Prince. So you got your new Prayer Lore here. All on 3s, which I like. That is good. Infectious Surge, which is pick a friendly Magic Kingdom Nurgle Priest, chant the prayer. Visible Magic Kingdom Nurgle unit wholly within 12. Add 2 inches to the target's move characteristic, which is great. So that works with Corpulent Avalanche, should you want to make that combination. In addition to the chanting roll with 6+, the target can use charge, even if it used a retreat. So unlimited.
Back just in time. I heard the word combo, and so I came back.
Combo breaker. Yeah, that's right. Classic.
Please more of this, by the way.
Yeah,
not
it's great.
to interrupt your whole spiel. More of this kind of thing. Look, here's an ability that cares about your movement characteristic.
Yes.
And here's an ability over here that adds to your movement characteristic.
Yes.
You could take both of them, and they're greater than the sum of their parts.
And yet they're also both good on their own.
They're individually good.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be grand if that was like everything?
Right.
Or like a lot of stuff.
Just adding 2 inches to move and or retreat and charge. Quality. Being able to do some mortals and then scoot an extra average 4 inches. Also good. Right? Yeah. So like I like all of these things. It's peanut butter and chocolate. Put them together. We got some. This is Officer Reese's. There's been an accident. So anyways, yeah, it's great. Okay. Agonizing Vomiting. This is a you priest. You pick an enemy with an 18. You roll 7 dice. Chanting roll 6. Add 2 to each roll for each 5+. Blah blah blah. Don't care. I hate these kinds of mortal damage spells out of priests, but it's like not the worst, but it's not good. It's just there. I mean, whatever. It's fine. I guess I don't hate it as like one of your options, but it just doesn't do much for me. There'll be some time where you need to break a unit free in the hero phase, and you'll be glad you have this. That's what it's for. Okay. Yeah. And then Frothing Mucus. This is a friendly buff. Until the start of your next turn, the charge +1 damage weapon ability has no effect on combat attacks that target the target. I love that they wrote that and hated themselves. Like he typed it and was like, this person typed it. I'm assuming it's a he because I think their whole design studio is he. And he wrote this up and he was like, that can't be right. Is that right? And he went to like the rules person. They're like, yeah, that's right. That's how that works.
Right. Yeah. It's like setting up a UI for your MMO. You need target a target.
Yes.
Nowhere's no. All right.
If the chanting roll was 6+, weapon abilities other than companion weapon abilities have no effect instead. That's what you're going for because that's actually very powerful.
Yeah.
So,
hey, what's good right now?
All of those weapon abilities. What if they weren't? What if they just did nothing?
What unit type is good right now? Cavalry. What does all cavalry have? Charge +1 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then 6+, just everything else. Hey, Nurgle, do you like being invincible? What if you were more invincible?
That's right.
Faster. And every once in a while, as a silver bullet, you can do like a D3 damage, maybe.
Yep. And there's always the case where you're locked up. I know as BCR, you've run into this where like somebody lived in combat and now it's rolling to your turn.
2 life, and I'm like, if I can do 2 damage to him, then I get an entire movement phase and an entire charge phase.
Exactly.
And it's got to happen to Nurgle as well. You're just like paging through your rules, like, can I find a damage? Like,
right.
I need 1 damage.
And then big old Rodigus clocking in at 430 points, a full rewrite of the big Greater Demon, the name Greater Demon. So he has a really wonderful passive that everybody within 6 inches of him is -1 to save. This is
He's got the
amazing.
wither stave.
He's got the wither stave.
Bolted
Yeah.
right on there.
He
I'm
has
sold.
Oh, go ahead.
Just from that passive, I'm sold.
Right.
I kind of like him. I read this one little red box, and I'm like, I kind of like this guy. Hadn't seen anything else. I like him already.
Let me read a second ability to you. Passive, Bringer of Plenty. Add 1 to casting rolls for this unit. Oh, what is this? Another generically quality ability?
This is a unique named character who went into the armory and chose artifacts on purpose. You know how they give artifacts to unique characters and they're just dumb? Like, who would have chosen? How did you live to be a unique character for anyone to remember your name with artifact choices like this? And then this guy's like, no, I know. I'm a knower. Witherstave, got it. Whatever. Amulet of Casting, we're in. Okay, so that's why we know this guy's name.
And then we've got Virulent Downpour. Cast on a 7, but you got +1 baked in, so I'm okay with it. That's fine. Because it's a 6 to you, and then that just makes it harder to unbind because you're effectively getting higher numbers. Add 3 inches to the range of this unit's Befouled Rainfall ability, the -1 to saves, for the rest of the battle. I'm sorry, what? Oh, what?
Hold on, fun detected?
That's right. And then this unit can be affected by this ability multiple times, and the effects are cumulative. Then inflict 1 mortal damage on each enemy unit within range of that ability. Fine, like that little bonus splash damage. Why not? Like, I don't care. The first part, you had me with the first part. I didn't need the second, but I'm not angry it exists.
No, that one spell, the Lumina spell is so good because it's going to ignore this 1 damage, right? And so this spell basically sucks because of that. You know? Got him.
Stonehorns shaking this right off. Not a thing. I'll take 0, thank you. Never mind the fact that your save now sucks and your Blight Kings and Blight Lords are going
to... My save's on a 5-up and I'm just dead. But look.
Yes. But I'm not taking that point of damage.
+2 from Fanged Maw is 6/7. Oh, okay. All right. This guy's great. And then he's got a Tentacular Grip. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this. Roll die. If the roll exceeds the target's save characteristic, inflict an amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Equal to the roll, not equal to the difference.
Yep.
So if the thing's armor save is great, they potentially take a good chunk of mortals.
Yep.
And if their armor save is bad, then they'll get killed by this thing. So hey, all right. 22 4-up, 5-up, move 6, maybe 8. This guy's kind of nice.
He's good.
Double Wizzy.
I would just like to point out this guy is 10 points more expensive than my Keeper of Secrets, which does not do like any of this quality. So just saying.
Also, kind of rare for something in the game. 10 control. Usually 5 for stuff like this. 10 control. Kill 1 model, and he's capturing. I actually like him.
He's great.
I don't know what kind of army lists look like or whatever, but he's fun.
Yeah, seems like a great unit. Seems like a great guy to have a lot of Blight Kings around him. Just let them go in and start doing the choppy. They're going to get there. They love that -1 to save on enemy units. That's a great day for them. Thank you, Great Boy, for the super chat. I agree. Whoever wrote this War Scroll needs a raise. Yeah, more like this. That's what I'm saying. We saw Celeste. Great units. We saw this. I don't remember now who we started talking about first. Doc or whatever the first one was. Carthusela.
Yeah, the foot hero.
Yeah, the foot hero. Yes. Like we can write good special characters. Make them all like this, where they all do stuff, and I want to take them.
I don't know how many priests you have in Nurgle, but you can build your own with this passive. So, hey, all right.
Yep.
Nurgle was one of the cool updates, I thought.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Then lastly, Sylvaneth. Okay. Sylv. So we got a Wargrove of the Burgeoning. Pick a friendly non-hero Sylvaneth unit within 3 inches of terrain feature to be the target. If the target has a health characteristic of 1, Return up to 3 slain models to the target. If the target has a health characteristic of 2 or more, roll a dice, then do the heal thing. Who cares? You're probably not going to use this one. Cute,
No.
but pass.
Plus, you
Then
run
we
out
get
of
the
lands in
one.
your hand after a little while, early game.
Yep. Then we get the one everybody's going to take because this thing is insane. Wargrove of the Everdusk. Effect. Friendly Sylvaneth heroes can use the Walk the Hidden Paths ability, even if it has been used by another friendly unit in this phase. So this is their teleport between the woods. So every time, every movement phase, all of their heroes can do this.
Yeah. Every single one of your heroes is cups and balls. Yep. Dragon Ball Z, like Zui fighting, teleporting. Hilarious.
Yeah. Everyone. That is insane. All of your heroes teleport in all of your movement phases. What?
I can already see like the meme, and it's 2 Grandmaster chess players in time trouble when they're both at like 1 second left on the clock, and it says like Sylvaneth mirror match hero phase.
Yep. And the woods are like really hard to kill now. Like you don't kill the woods anymore. They're really annoying to fight. So it's just like they're just there forever. It also means you always can. Fighting Sylvaneth is so funny because you never fail charges. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you always just charge the trees and then fight whatever you wanted to. Right. It just. Sylvaneth Woods say the enemy gets free charges, but has to take some potential mortal damage occasionally because of it. Right. That's what happens. Absolutely. Yes. Kathy's watching. My wife's watching. She said, Lyra, like Tom, sleeps through the show. Yes. Look at that dog. Look at how cute that is. If you haven't hit like yet, look at her with her tail tucked up under her nose. Come on. It's adorable. It's the cutest thing you're going to see on the internet today. All right. So that's great. Artifacts. Glamour Weave. Each phase you can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound, and 1 save roll. Okay.
Stop writing this rule, please. I hate it.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't like it.
It's fine. The Acorn of the Ages. It's back, baby. Like
It's
most
back.
Great things. We just can't ever leave something to dead. Once per battle, make a woods. Hey, did you have a problem with getting this spell off? Well, forget that. Don't worry about that anymore.
Right there.
Then we have the Gambler special. Why, I couldn't help but notice that you've got a little bit of the soul of the Gambler. We've got the Ranu's Lamentary. Make an unbind. So this is basically like you decide to unbind, you do this. Okay. Like they cast
this ability
a spell.
reads like it's once per battle. It's not.
It's
once
not.
per turn.
Mm-hmm.
But it reads the same as a once per game. And so I'm pleased that they're doing this.
So make an unbinding roll of 2d6. If the roll exceeds the casting roll for the spell, i.e. you did successfully unbind the spell, because that's how that works.
Unbound. Yeah.
The spell is unbound and the effect is not resolved. Then inflict an amount of mortal damage on the caster equal to the difference between the casting roll and the unbinding roll to a maximum of 6.
You cowards.
Exactly.
With your to a maximum of 6. Excuse me, teacher, is there homework? You can only have this much fun, okay?
Right.
Maximum of 6 fun.
Absolutely.
Let them blow up like King Henry. It would be so funny. Just, hey, you rolled snake eyes or rolled boxcars. Your guy takes 10 mortals, blows up.
It's amazing.
It's still funny for gamblers, I guess. But,
yes, that is correct. The War Song does have a +1 to unbind. So, like, you have
giving that up for this, yeah.
No, like just base. The War Song has that +1 to unbind, and this doesn't care about unmodified. So it gets to count towards it.
And it actually says make an unbinding roll.
That's right.
Which is what you're doing, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So it actually works. It is a nice little combo.
Hold on, combo? Even though fun kind of detected and not allowed, but also there is a combo fun detected. Good.
Absolutely. In my mind, I like these artifacts because if you're Spike, you take the wood just because then you get a free wood, and that's fine.
You take the acorn, yeah.
Yep. But if you've got a little bit of the soul of the gambler, right? If you're Spike
with a little bit of brain damage, then you take Ranu's Lamentary, yeah.
And you just cook a wizard
like rolling
once
hot
a game.
to just win, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. You got to get the feel for it. Is this the good one? Do I got the hot hand on this roll? Let's see. Here we go.
And if you're Timmy, you still take Ranu's Lamentary anyway because you're trying to feel something over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Leave, I don't know, but
And we got 2 new scrolls.
Get out in
Dryka.
front of this. There are no bees.
There are no
No
bees.
dogs with bees in their mouth that shoot bees at you when they bark.
Yep. The Dryka, get used to this scroll. Get ready. Okay? Because you are going to see Dryka. She is going to... Dryka has been in...
nice with it.
Yeah. She's been in hibernation. That will no longer be the case. She will be coming out. She is awoken.
Sad. She is only mad.
That's right. So yeah, she lost her bees, but she has a great attack profile. 10 attacks, 3s, 2s, 2, 2. That is a solid attack profile. Crit 2 hits. Yep.
Sure.
No ward rolls to her stuff. She's got the so strong. As somebody who's regularly played Sigvald, this is like such a strong ability.
It's so good.
She's got a spell that is pretty good. Pick a visible friendly Sylvaneth unit wholly within 12 this unit be a target. Make your casting roll. This is target of a 6. To the start of your next turn, add 1 to wound rolls for the target's companion or combat attacks. Sorry, put up. Including those made with companion weapons. That's what I was trying to say.
It begins.
It begins.
We start to ignore companion.
Yep.
Until it goes away.
We can go ahead and forget this horrible, stupid mistake we made. And then in addition,
the target is the other war scroll on this page. Add 1 attack characteristic of their melee weapons.
Yep.
Oh. On a 6. Nice.
Pretty good. And then reaction. Opponent declared a charge ability for a unit within 18 inches of this unit. What?
If she's in the center of the table, that's the table.
Correct. That is insane.
Your opponent declared a charge ability period, almost.
Now, normally, I hate browbeat effects, okay, which is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, but I don't mind browbeat when both sides of the equation are just horrible.
It's not browbeat, it's cryptic command. Pick one.
Right. Exactly.
The textless version.
So this is either they take minus D3 to their charge roll. Mm-hmm. Okay. Which, by the way, this is what I was talking about. It basically makes her immune to people who set up 9 inches away from her and try to charge her, because that's never happening. You will, like, anybody setting up at 9 just shuts off. Like, anywhere around her in a massive radius, she just shuts that off. Because if they set up at 9 and they're within 18 of her, she's like, hey, you're worthless. No. Okay. You either fail this charge almost for sure, right? Or when you get there, you'll do nothing. Your choice. So, or if you, yes, exactly. And if she has charged this swarm, which is if you don't take the minus D3, then you're -1 to hit, and your opponents get +1 to hit you.
In addition,
God, so
that's
good.
That's the old Exalted Angel 4 damage gain for the 8 spread.
Yep.
-1 for you, +1 for me. Hey, all right. Dryja kind of nice. Dryja Hammer Dreth.
You ain't wrong. She is going to show up all over the place, left, right, and center. The woods have awoken. Okay. So, yes, Assistant Ref said somehow the Corn Demon Prince's blood slick ground has returned.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, by the way, hey, whoa, I don't know when you review, like, I don't know if you didn't get a chance to look at this yet, right? Because this one just came out today.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it, but I didn't stream it,
Yeah. When you stream it, you also got to talk about, oh, yes, it is expropriate. That's absolutely, yes.
Oh, true. Correct. Yeah, that's perfect.
It is expropriate. Thank you, Mergonk. Yeah, I love expropriate. I had a voting deck for a while, and I used expropriate. It was fun. Okay, anyways, there is another unit in this army, Haywo, called the Twist Wield. You familiar with these little weirdos?
The Twist Wield? That's one of the can't be reinforced little party of adventurers.
Yeah,
I don't know what it does, though.
It makes a unit have minus D3 to their charge.
Ooh.
They have a 12-inch range, okay? And as long as they're not within 6 inches of any other Sylvaneth, it's automatic. Like, you normally have to roll a die to get it for a 3-up for them to do it. But if they're not within 6 inches of any other Sylvaneth, which is not, like, that's actually a pretty easy bubble to maintain. Like, just stay 6 inches away from your friends. They can tag somebody within 12 and give them neg D3 to their charge. Okay. So
welcome back, Sylvaneth.
Yeah. Brutal. Okay. These two, like somewhere in the center of the board, just kind of, you have this one kind of floating a slight distance away. It's just like, all right, would you like to fail all of your charges and or suck when you get anywhere? Well, congratulations. Because like if you hit them with the twist wield and then throw this on top, they will absolutely just take the -1 to hit and +1 to be hit. Right? Like that's their only choice.
They have to, because failing a charge is like losing the game a lot of the times, so you might as well just, well, I gotta roll 6s now, but I can't. I have to have the chance to even do that, so I got to get into combat.
And minus 2d3 to charge is crushing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look, the year is 2016. My army has a 0% win rate against Sylvaneth. The year is 2020. My army has a 0% win rate against Sylvaneth. The year is 2025.
Right.
I cannot beat Sylv. It's fine. I'm used to it.
Yep. So.
And then Revenant Seekers.
Yeah.
Who, here, I'll give you a tip, okay? 12 flying, crit mortal on 2 damage melee weapons.
Which is what, that's
stuff.
what changed, by the way. They used to be 1 damage and like, I think they were charged +1 previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're just 2 always, and plus they get +1 to attacks from Twisted Spirit Song if you want. Sometimes they have a 5-up ward, coherency, range big. You can reinforce them into 6s. They're very expensive. They're very good. So you get what you pay for. They're fast. Seems good.
They're great. Like the fact that they have oracular visions, like this is just a unit you take as a 3 of now that can like actually do some decent damage and gives you oracular visions, because it doesn't have to go on them. They can pick any, it could be them, but they can pick any visible Sylvaneth within 12 to be the target to just get a 5-up ward. So they're just literally giving out oracular visions.
Dryja, if the opponent has shooting, if they don't, it's themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So
the only
and it's any hero phase.
Is a 5-up ward, so there you go.
Yeah, they do it in both hero phases, so that's cool too. So it's great. They are good. And there we go. That's all of them.
It's cool and fun. It's probably the zero-sum type of fun, but that is also a type of fun.
Sure.
That's sometimes good. Sylvaneth, kind of nice with it.
I honestly think that we're going to be back to Sylvaneth will have a like turn 1 game plan. But we'll see. We'll see. This is I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to be back to the old Sylvaneth. I have a plan.
Well, they gave us the Acorn back.
Yep.
The old no-roll Sylvaneth, where they go up to a particular battle plan and they're like, this is what's going to happen turn 1, no rolling.
Right.
I
will just execute.
The answer is actually no. Okay. Well, let me get a hot dog from the convenience concession stand over there.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do your thing, and then you go from there. Yes, the doggo's over here. Yes, my dog is my co-host. They're along with, there's 3 of us today. Hi, puppy. Hi, baby. I know I woke you up. I'm sorry. She's looking at me very... You can see that. Okay. Yeah, hit like for the dog. All right. Anyways, we got one more fun little game here to close us out, Haywo. Okay.
All right.
So just a little quick summary. Here's my little pros. I wanted to do a little pros and cons breakdown at the end. Okay. Like let's do a little look back. Yes, I know Soulblight is tomorrow, but whatever. Soulblight's already a good army. I don't think it's going to be anything that amazing. So whatever. Like you fell outside the realm, Soulblight. I don't care. Okay. Here's my breakdown. Pros. The additional rules do open up some new lists for basically all the armies. Like they generally had a good focus on underused and underplayed sections. They identified problems. Even if the solutions weren't always the right solutions, it still tells me that they're identifying the problems and actually gives me hope that for army books they're writing and or future GHBs, and when they do points adjustments, like they see where the problems are and can adjust accordingly in using all the tools at their disposal.
Yeah, right? And keep in mind, companies move slow because that's how companies work. This kind of thing was in the pipeline for whatever. How long did they have to work on this GHB? A year ago? All of this, 2 pages for every single army. There's 25 armies or so. They've been doing this for a while. Now we've been complaining for a while that this or that, oh, we wish it had more of this, or the great flavor purge of all the War Scrolls and armies or whatever. They basically immediately started probably working on this.
Yep.
All right, we'll put it back in then. Look at the big, Twinkie syringe and start putting the cream back in on the underserved parts of all of these factions.
Agreed.
And
Completely
the
agreed.
GHB book is done as of a while ago. And so what do you think they've been working on since then? And particularly every time I looked at the GHBs or the 2-page things, I'm like, rare was it that I looked at an entire army's thing and I'm just like, I don't know what they were thinking. Most of the time, even the stuff that missed, like you said, they've identified the right target. They're moving in the right direction. Or they know which way to walk. And sometimes, yeah, maybe their shoes are stuck together and this trait sucks or whatever. And it wasn't enough or it wasn't quite in the right way. But for almost all of these, they at least identified both what needed help and kind of how to do it.
Agreed.
Which is hugely positive, I think. And if these two, if the 2 pages of rules we got on all these like GHB updates were just what the battle tomes were, but like all the pages, what a great game we would have.
Agreed. Yep.
Do that.
Do this, which we're going to get there in a second.
Sidelines, you know, when the person shoots the basketball from the 3-point line and goes in, I'm like, yeah, you do that. Yeah. The ball. Yeah. Do that.
It's the scene in Endgame or whatever, where the Scarlet Witch actually comes down from the tower where she was like helping Shuri, and those big giant machines are rolling in, and she just like picks up all 4 of the machines and just crushes like a huge part of the enemy army. And the one lady's like, what was she doing up there the whole time? Like, yeah, where were these rules the whole time? You could write them. Why aren't they all just this, just that,
Yeah.
do that, keep that? Yes, good. Stop writing the bad rules.
It's scary to do
rules.
that for everything, because this is the time period where we're so concerned about balance. And I get that it's scary to do this amount of fun on actually everything, because you're afraid of the slide back into crazy land of Marvel vs. Capcom First Edition. But I just want you to know that as much as players whine about it, no one actually cares about balance at the end of the day. They care about fun.
As long as the balance is within like a reasonable spread, right? It can't be like
as long as the outliers and the potential bad matchups don't become you can't play the game at all.
Exactly.
As long as we're within those bounds, things work. Things do what they say they will do reasonably. Things like that. People are just interested to do their thing. It's like Commander. You don't care who wins. You cared if you got to do your thing.
Did I get to do my thing? Exactly. Yep. I last Friday we were doing a little Commander. I was playing my dog deck, which you've seen, and I made like a million bajillion dogs. Okay. And like just so many dogs. It was all the dogs. And they were all like, they all had Unleash, which I love when I can put Unleash on the dogs because that's appropriate and thematically correct. And so I unleashed the dogs and just like, I'm like, okay, I swing out, and the one player's like, I kill this one player and I'd already killed the other player. And this person's like, okay, I don't block. And they're like, I go to like -50. I have an equipped Lion Sash. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot you got a Lion Sash. Okay, you win. It's like, I had no answer. And they had me on the crackback. And I was like, yeah, you win. Good job. Good game. Like, way to go. Because
but
you're
you got
like
to make
11,000
dogs, and that was fun.
Right. I did everything I wanted. I killed people with like 100 dogs, and then I died. A+ game. Like, let's re-rack next game. This was a complete and total victory. Yeah, exactly. All right. My only other pro was, by the way, like net new enhancements like monster traits and big names are very welcome. Like, let's do that. More
Let
stuff
us interact
like that.
with them a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
How do I get another one of those? If I feel like it.
And let us figure out. Yes, please give us a way to get more. Then we got some cons. It's a silly shame we had to arbitrarily cap everything at 7 new items. Why? Why did everything have to be exactly 7 items?
I guess we got to cut it off somewhere, right?
Sure. I mean, like, but there are some armies where you could have just dropped to page 3 and done 2 more War Scrolls. You know that you could have.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been that hard. Yeah.
Right. Like, come on, guys. You just set the number at 7, and it was like that. No more, no less. That's it. You get 7 things. Okay. Sure.
especially armies where all the war scrolls are basically the same anyway. Like 2 Gargant war scrolls,
Mm-hmm.
where like the only difference between any 2 Gargants is like 1 box within the war scroll
Right.
and maybe 1 weapon profile.
And that leads to my next one, which is some scroll choices were strange. We had clear opportunities for additional buffs. Like you mentioned it with the ogres. That's a great example, right? Like I'm fine with the Iron Blaster and Scrap Launcher getting chosen, but it's the meme of like the mom holding up the kid in the pool while the other kid is drowning, and then the skeleton at the bottom of the
Lead
lake.
belchers in
Yeah,
the
the lead
skeletal
belchers
chair
are the
at the bottom.
skeleton at the bottom of the lake, along with like you need like 4 skeletons because it's like lead belchers, man eaters, like they're all down there, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it's in a way, it's kind of nice. It must be good feedback if they're seeing this. That one of our cons is that there wasn't more of all this good work.
right, we like it. We want more.
The Warhammer players are passionate, and their feedback can sometimes get acerbic. And so the first con is, why didn't you do more of this good work? It's like not the worst criticism.
Yeah.
You know,
And then, as we said, there were
do that.
some. Yeah,
Keep doing
exactly.
that.
One of my other cons is we already talked about it, but it's worth saying again is that like, look, there were some times where you properly identified the problem. Good job. But then you missed on the solution. And that's okay. Like, that's cool. You
That's
found the
just
goal.
iteration. Yeah.
Just got to get there. So keep iterating.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to give somebody +1 to whatever in this game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of delivery methods for that thing.
If this November or Christmas we did another like a Happy Grotmas or whatever, and they just did another 25 days of this, I would be thrilled. Thrilled.
Yeah.
Like, so I see no downside. All right, well, I think that's everything, brother. Any final thoughts?
No. Good work. Do that more. Do more of the good work that you did. It's nice to say that.
Exactly. It really is. Overall, I think this was very positive. I'm glad they did it. They showed us they can write these cool rules. We got some really fun, compelling, interesting characters. Like, this is good. This makes me honestly excited for what we're going to see in the rest of the GHB and that kind of stuff and coming up. I really hope the new battle tomes that they are clearly writing, as we'll start to transition into the post-launch written battle tomes, right? I really hope that they're written with the same love, care, and fun in mind. So time will tell. Time will tell. But otherwise, and by the way, don't let these things last a year. Just keep them around. Like, why not? Just keep riding. Keep the soggy forever. Soggy for life. That's what I say. All right.
Yeah, it's a beta test.
That's
People
right.
like this, people don't like that. Take what works. You already have indexes, just put it on that. Easy.
I've got one final thing for everybody. Hey, people who stayed till the end of the show. How you doing? Were you join me?
Fan.
That's right, the true fans. For you true fans who've stayed till the end of the show, I got a little surprise for you. So, for those of you who aren't getting enough of me rambling about things in your ear holes through this show and Hobby Cheating and Snarlcast with Adam, go subscribe, link below, where we talk about indie games and indie game design. And because I really hate sleep and doing anything in my life, Mr. Ninjon and I are going to be starting a new RPG-focused podcast. We're going to be talking about role-playing games, D&D, but not only D&D, all sorts of things. We're going to be talking about RPG game design. We're going to be talking about player guidance, DM guidance, how to write and play good games. John and I have both played RPGs for 30 years plus. I've been playing since 1989, so I got a lot of opinions. And I'm not going to tell you more about it yet. It's coming soon, very soon. It will be in your ear holes, not too long. And we'll share the name out here soon. We'll start teasing. Follow on the socials. And get hyped. Get hyped for us to expand into the world of RPGs. No more just the RPG talk on TUP. And here when I keep putting it in, because I keep sliding in. Now all I got to do is get that Magic podcast going somewhere, and then I'll complete the trifecta. But until then, the RPG podcast will be coming with John. So, stay tuned. That's all I'll say.
We're We gotta make a news crawl somewhere at the bottom that just lists all the things you're on.
Yes, just all the that's follow me here and here and here and here. Vince doesn't sleep; he just makes
A little
podcasts. That's
stock
right.
ticker. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you for sticking around till the end. I appreciate it. Check it. It's like more news will be coming shortly. Like tune in next week, and you may hear even more details. At any rate, hey, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, everybody, to hit like, hit subscribe, do all those things. Look at that dog just sleeping there. I can't. There we go. Look at her. Look at her. Look at that. Look at how adorable that is up on the arm of the chair. Come on now. Ridiculous. At any rate, hit those things. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. Thank you everybody for all the great comments, conversation, and discussion and feedback as we were going through the show. And hey, if you want to support the channel, don't forget links are down below, affiliate links. You can buy your hobby supplies. Doesn't cost you anything extra, saves you money. Check out Snarlcast. Let's give that a listen. Don't forget, new book from Uncle Admiral launches this Friday, 2 days away. So tune in, follow, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be exciting. Check it out. And of course, there's also Patreon and stuff like that. But hey, listen, everyone, I want to say thank you so much for watching. And as always, Vince will then remember that he actually forgot to turn on the thing that lets him shut off the show here at the end, because that's what I did. I went ahead and closed out of the button that lets me end this show like a genius. So now I got to keep talking and stalling while I bring that up so I can hit this button and say, see you next week.
It's okay. We can cut it in post.
Yeah, it's fine.
Easy.